Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Is your new year still falling flat? Do you avoid stairs with multiple steps? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy or low E, but there's a cure. Now through February 16th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. With clean, spacious clubs and tons of equipment, you can boost your energy after just one workout. Leave low E behind and find your big fitness energy at Planet Fitness. Join in the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, February 16th. See Home Club for details. Is your new year still falling flat? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy, but Planet Fitness has the cure. Boost your energy with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs for $1 down and $10 a month. No commitment. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 16th. See Home Club for details. Is your new year still falling flat? Do you avoid stairs with multiple steps? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy or low E, but there's a cure. Now through February 16th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. With clean, spacious clubs and tons of equipment, you can boost your energy after just one workout. Leave low E behind and find your big fitness energy at Planet Fitness. Join in the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to Gen Exhausted. I'm Chris.
I'm Rich.
I'm Jess.
I'm Earl.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red.
Look, balloon.
The indoctrination starts as soon as you come
That was the theme
It's
of
a plane.
Yeah.
It's Superman. It's a
That was the theme of my Google News theme on Saturday morning, and that's when I felt, okay, we're all 6. We are now 6. I felt like the media was punking us. Maybe China was punking us. Maybe our own government was punking us. I don't know. But what a weird weekend as far, like, Jess, you hit on the head. I felt we were living in Don't Look Up for 2 days.
Yes. Okay, and I'll be honest with you. I've only heard about the movie. I've never actually watched all of it. I understand the premise, though. And that was the whole thing, is if you were to look online, you have the people of, it's not a big deal, don't pay attention to it, and everyone else, oh my God, they're going to nuke us, the sky is falling. And that's all that news was. Literally all week.
It was definitely interesting watching each side lose their shit in a different way. Like one side just losing their shit, one side losing their shit about the other side losing their shit. The memes were fantastic. The memes, I mean, you know, every now and then the internet has its day. I mean, my favorite one is rather racist, but I mean, it made the rounds. It's the one that said weather balloon, totally not for spying. Just reading what it said, everybody. Just reading what it said.
Quote, end quote.
Yes. There was one that said actual footage of the balloon over Missouri, and it was like rednecks like throwing bottles and fucking, you know, shooting firecrackers at it and shit.
Someone did what the balloon sees when it goes over Michigan, and it was that picture. I posted Flint would shoot it town, Detroit would strip it, Grosse Pointe would gentrify it.
Right.
I feel like...
If you know Detroit, that's funny. If you don't, that's not.
That is hilarious. And SNL had a funny sketch for a change.
Oh, did they do something with the balloon?
Bowen Yang was the balloon. They were interviewing him on Weekend Update. Every, 5 years, SNL makes me laugh. At least lately.
Hey, Chris.
Yo.
Was this balloon actually a spy satellite, to your knowledge? I mean, they're saying, you know, China's saying it's a weather device. Everybody else, spy balloon. I mean, seriously. As many people as they have, as far along in technology as they are, they can't do better than a weather balloon satellite to spy? Really? I mean, really?
I mean, that's what makes me think this is a weather, right? Like, they're looking at us right now from space. What the fuck they got to send a balloon for? Like, is this like people below 40 didn't have that weather balloon section in their 3rd grade science class, so they don't know what the fuck it is?
I mean, whether it's a weather balloon or not, though, I mean, they were saying there's some over Taiwan, and this is a part of a bigger thing, and blah, blah, blah. I just don't get it.
Oh.
Okay, hold on. If there's multiple of the same type of balloons over different parts of the world, fuck off with the weather balloon shit.
There's more than one. I know there's a confirmed
Fuck off
one.
with the weather balloon shit then. I don't care who fucking said it from the government.
Yeah,
they
South
eat my
America,
ass.
too.
Okay, because couple that with the fact that fucking 2019, so however long ago that is now, the government admitted in a fucking article on The Guardian that, oh yeah, we're testing out low altitude weather, balloons, blah, blah, blah. We're going to use them for monitoring and to follow people on highways and read license plates. But not for monitoring, not for that. We promise not. Did everyone forget that happened? Of course they did. So someone dug it up from the internet, and it's been completely ignored because weather balloon. Kiss my ass. Weather balloon.
Okay, but the United States never said it was a weather balloon. Did we always called it, like from the beginning, it was Chinese spy balloon?
I heard completely different stories depending on who you voted for.
Yeah, because remember, 3 balloons went over during the Trump administration. Don't forget that one. That gem from the weekend.
Yeah.
Biden had 1, Trump had 3.
Notice that story died out real fast, though, because I think it was Mattis.
Bolton came out today and said there was not. No, we would have known about it.
Well, see, Mattis said it was true, but they didn't know. They didn't tell Trump because he was too reactionary. And this is why you can't believe a fucking thing.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck what a bunch of people who are paid to spin shit have to say about a situation. What are the facts of the situation? Not what they want to fucking tell me and use the lie of omission to omit from the situation. And if there's been first of all, I didn't know that. Believe me, listening to NPR, they haven't said shit about the same type of balloon being seen in multiple points across the world, which I find funny. I mean, they might have. I didn't hear it. And I'm sure it was reported, but it's not something that they were harping on. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, I have no idea, to be honest with you. They had
a guy come on and say that these balloons are for spying because the first thing China's going to do.
Who's they?
If they go to war.
Who's they? Like
China.
Was it Fox?
Oh, the people. It was Fox.
Okay, so this was a Fox interview. Okay, go ahead. It was an interview
it's
on
also
Fox.
BBC and New York Post.
Yeah, the first thing China's going to do if they go to war is destroy your long-range ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, which is exactly where that fucking balloon flew over up in Montana.
Look, I don't.
Missouri.
And it lingered there.
What the fuck? I mean, if anything can be done with it or not, fine. To me, the point is, if the lie was put out that it's a weather balloon, and that was like at some point the official story we're running with, and then facts come out that prove that to be bullshit, why are you lying? What are you lying about? The cover-up's worse than the crime most of the time.
China is the one calling the balloon a civilian unmanned airship and saying it's primarily for conducting weather research.
Yeah, the United States has never said that. The United States from the beginning just came out and were like, oh, by the way, that balloon you see.
Why is anyone taking what China has to say seriously in this situation? Come on. So that's what I'm saying. So this weather balloon bullshit, this is what I'm saying. Like, people get stuck up on this shit. And I guarantee it was this. Well, how do we feel about China? Politically. That's how we're going to come down on it. Like, it's probably nothing more than military getting a little too fucking frisky. Shit got fucked up. And people were like, is that a fucking balloon floating? Are you serious? Is this the 21st century? Or did we just get done with World War I?
Right.
Like, seriously. Like, is there going to be a Zeppelin that's going to go down someplace in Jersey here soon? Did we hop into a DeLorean and go back 100 years? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is, why the flip out? Why could no one just have a fucking answer? Why is it?
My question is, why did we wait for it to blow away across the country?
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Regardless of where it came from, you can't put a drone in the air and fly it across fucking county lines, let alone across the country.
They said it was for the safety of the people because the falling debris could hurt somebody.
How about this? It was in Canada for days before it got here. Why didn't Canada do anything?
They spotted it over the Pacific Ocean, though.
Yep, and they
by the way, Canada, huge landmass, 37 million people. I mean, if they thought it was a dangerous thing, they could shot it. If they weren't sure of the ocean, it's a pretty safe assumption it's not going to hit anybody in Canada. Just saying.
Or Montana. Or South Dakota. Have you ever looked at South Dakota from the air? There ain't shit down there.
Yeah, the country gets real dark west of the Mississippi.
Well, the thing of it is, too, is why did they wait so long to say anything about it? People were posting videos of this thing on TikTok, apparently.
Dude, if they recover this thing and it says Mr. Beast on it, I'm going to be pissed. That's another thing. Is anyone can, because we're talking, like, anyone, is this on the table? Could this be someone fucking around to get internet clout? Like, oh shit, this went too far.
From China?
If it is, then what the fuck is going on where crazy shit's happening? And just as far as we know, like, this will happen, and it'll be like maybe in 6 months we'll hear like some little thing. Remember that balloon thing? Yeah, it turned out it was this. Everyone will be like, oh yeah, well anyways, the steel cage match between Trump and DeSantis is tonight, man. Fuck that balloon. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to give a shit.
Yeah, I mean, China claimed it. They said, no, it's ours. And then they said it was a civilian weather balloon. And then now they're saying they have a right to retaliate against it being shot down.
But then after they said that, a day later, because the article I was reading was the article where they went, whoa, everybody chill the fuck out. Like, they're the ones who were like, we have the right to retaliate. And they're like, hey, everybody be cool. So I wonder if someone might have made a phone call and said, you want to think about that statement?
I mean, I don't understand. Like, does China? I mean, it's like I said, like
China is just calm after U.S. shoots down suspected spy.
I mean, that's any fucking like saber rattling that China's doing is just fucking fronting, is peacocking. China and the I've been saying this for over a decade now. China and the U.S. don't want anything to do with each other as far as a land war in our own country. We'll fight proxy wars around the world and little hot spots of conflict around the world via other armies that we fucking fund and supply. But we don't want that shit on our fucking shores. China don't want an invasion, and China don't want to invade here, and we don't want to invade China. Period. End of story.
Am I the only one that was waiting for a little boy to fall out of that balloon when they shot it?
Falcon Heaney.
Talking balloon boy from fucking 2009.
Yep.
It was fake anyway.
I mean,
remember?
Yeah, he wasn't even in
Yeah, he
there.
was hiding in the attic.
And this is what I'm saying. This is what it'll be like in 6 months about this balloon.
Well, hey, remember that balloon?
From
January?
No, seriously though, guys, I'm just pissed off. Was it live feed? Like, whether we shot it down or not? If it stayed up in the air, did they get all the details that they wanted?
Well, they could steer it, so it had to be Bluetooth connected somehow, right? Satellite connected, something connected, because it didn't follow weather patterns. It was a steerable balloon.
I mean, and I don't even know how airspace works. Like, what is considered airspace? How far up is considered airspace? Is airspace owned by the land, the people who own the land underneath it?
Yes.
Yeah, but I think where they were at this point, dude, they were like 100,000 feet where planes fly.
That's my point of how far up does
they were 160,000 feet up. Planes fly only like 5 miles up, maybe.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Airspace doesn't extend into the infinite universe. Mm-hmm. from the plot of land at the corner of butt fuck wherever. You know what I'm saying? That's not how that works. So I'm just like, I'm wondering this: how the fuck did this happen? And this country will go into DEFCON 4 over, and I was about to say lockdown, but that's, people now know what a literal lockdown is. Not that type of lockdown, but we'll go all fucking high alert, red alert over some bullshit. That was allowed to happen, and we're getting a bunch of fucking mumbling fucking excuses as to what it is because no one can give a straight answer. Why is no one upset about that? Your memes are nice. They're funny. I love them. I shared a bunch of them. Okay? They're great. Wonderful. Why are we not pissed at, like, are you serious right now? Because if we tried this shit locally, it'd have been like Waco Part 2. They'd have came fucking with a tank through your fucking front door for doing that shit.
Well, and the way that they addressed the American people whenever the Pentagon made their whole little statement about it, they were asked, the person who was speaking, I don't remember his name, but he was asked, where's the balloon now? And he's like, listen, what I'm not going to do is give an hour-by-hour tracking of this balloon. If the American people want to know where it is, they can feel free to walk outside and look up.
There you go, folks. It's your government talking to you like a child.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't tell you what's in the balloon. They're saying there might be explosives in the balloon. There could be bioweapons in the balloon. But we don't think it's a threat. We're going to leave it alone. It's fine. And then it gets over the ocean, and they're like, you know what? No, that is a threat. We're going to shoot it down. And then half the media is praising Biden for making a strong stand. Like, what? What and why?
Yeah, the excuse for shooting it down over the ocean is it wouldn't hurt anybody over the ocean.
See, I heard that, and then I also heard that they said that it was so that it wouldn't, like, it would have a better chance of being able to be fully recovered and not just, like, scatter everywhere, like, break everything.
I mean, that's pure speculation, unless they can get, like, a super high-def telescope on that motherfucker and know if it can withstand impact or not. They're just hoping that they're right. That's what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of bullshit that I'm just like, this just seems like a fuck up. This just seems like one of those things that, like, some sort, and not nefarious necessarily. I mean, it could be, I don't know, but I'm not saying it's inherently nefarious. This just seems like one of them government operations that we weren't supposed to see. And it was like, oops. Or it was just something that was like, well, hopefully no one will fucking see it. Oh shit. They saw it. All right. Run out the PR team. I swear to God, that's what I feel like. And there's so much shit that the military, that our own military tests and does in this country alone that people don't know about. And it looks completely crazy to you. Like my dad, he was at an Air Force Base, Special Weapons Lab at the Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 66. He saw the SR-71 Blackbird. He'd never seen anything like that. He said it looked like a fucking, like, he was like, that looked like a spaceship to me.
Thing's my favorite fucking plane. I'm not even kidding. Thing is badass.
Yeah, he was on guard duty. And one of the pilots was going by, and like he had to check him in because my dad had the clearance to do the fucking duty, blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. But point is, he saw it and he was like, I don't know what the fuck that was. And like 10 years later, it's in comic books and movies and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, there's stuff like that all the time.
And Jess, you saying, well, China said they claim responsibility for it. Well, how many attacks have Hamas and PLO claimed responsibility for that they had nothing to do with?
Oh,
like
right.
That could be us. Like I said, like I'd see Rich's scenario very plausible. We get caught. Yeah, it's China, and China's like, yeah, we did it. That's us.
And the only reason I have to fucking think that way is because it's a bunch of what had happened was, no, dude, that's not what. Come on, man, that's not how the government is. If all their bullshit, even if it's a bullshit lie, the government will tell you that bullshit lie with its chest. This was some fucking mumbling, got caught in the act shit when your girl catches you going, because she went through your phone or some shit. That's what this was. That's what makes me suspicious. Sorry.
Shaggy defense. It wasn't me.
Yeah. But the opposite. Everyone, yeah, it was me.
That was a spy plane. Epstein killed himself.
The Oprah of balloons. You get a balloon, and you get a balloon. Everybody has a balloon.
Yeah, if you want to know if you have a balloon or not, walk outside, look up. The whole thing is suspicious to me. The whole way that they came out and immediately they weren't saying like it could be there is a unknown aircraft and we're investigating it. It was just as soon as the story broke, it broke as Chinese spy balloon with China denying that. And then again,
like the spin was the spin was right away, right?
Right. And then it was, well, we've known about it since, like, it was 3 days before we found out, as the American people found out about it. And why? That doesn't make sense. The story, the word is that a Montana paper posted something about it, and that's whenever they had to break the story. And then again, just the way that the Pentagon handled it. And just like, we're not doing updates on this. You had a COVID death counter up for literally a year, and you won't let us know where the fucking maybe spy balloon is heading?
That is a very good point.
Do you notice that it missed the entire middle of the country, though? Because if that motherfucker came over Kansas, it'd have been gone.
No, it just went north of you. It went over St. Louis. It went over Nebraska. It went north of you. It got to the Dakotas, and then it made a diagonal, and then it went. Did it go over Tennessee or did it go over Kentucky?
It went over Nashville and Knoxville. It chose the more liberal parts of Tennessee to fly over.
Oh, it's a tourist balloon. Did it get some hot chicken?
Probably.
It went to Graceland.
Are there any military bases in those cities in Tennessee? Or near those cities? Like within driving distance?
Probably. Hold on.
I know there's isn't Edwards or something's in Nebraska. because it was by one of the stores that I used to consult. It's like it's the well, I don't work for them anymore. It's the Little Caesars that makes the most domestically.
I'm just wondering if anyone, because I mean it's the internet, and if someone's listening and has the ability to do it, and you give enough of a fuck, I mean I'm sure there's an email address you could send your results, track where the balloon went as far as we can tell, and see if it was like maybe hitting up certain spots, I don't know, military installations across the country.
I can tell you, Kansas is half fucking bases.
Well, yeah, Kansas is half fucking. It's all Kansas is all silos, grain silos or missile silos.
There's a lot of forts in
also,
Kansas.
It's the air capital of the country. It's the air capital of the world. Boeing has all of them. Spirit, they all are headquartered here.
I mean, I don't know if Kansas has grain silos. I've always heard it about the Midwest. That was the joke.
I just remember a lot of forts on my drive across the top of the middle of the state. Fort this, fort that, fort.
Well, yeah, you got to think because the Manifest Destiny, the constant push west, they were building forts as they needed, and they were conquering and killing off and whatever fucking all the way across the country. So, yeah, there's a lot of military forts.
All it flew over in Tennessee was a Army ammunition thing. Army ammunition plant.
Okay. I was just wondering if it is like one of those things that no one's put it together yet, and then when someone sits down, they're like, "Did you notice that it like specifically changed course and it managed to go over a military installation every time it changed course?" Like, yeah, that's kind of a coincidence. That's more than a coincidence in my book. But if it's just like it went over some military, it went over a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it could have stopped in Asheville and got a good craft beer.
I mean, it did get shot down over the beach, so I guess it was going for the sun. I don't know, sunset on the beach or whatever. And I don't know.
It had never seen Myrtle Beach. You wanted to go before we killed it.
For some reason, I'm thinking of the Forrest Gump running into the sunset.
Right? Yeah.
It's just a Chinese balloon or weather balloon or whatever the fuck it was.
No, apparently it went over several missile and nuclear weapon sites. I don't know if several is the right word. Multiple.
See, but and once again, that same story from different sources is two completely different stories.
Well, fair.
In the right hands, that's a horrifying, terrifying, scary thing. In the wrong hands, it's like, well, look at all the square miles it covered. It was bound to happen when we have X amount. See what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I just love that, it goes over all this shit because, the weather patterns are just so important over our
the fact
and it went nowhere near the jet stream. Nowhere near it.
Yeah, that's what Chris said earlier. And I mean, like, if it was like making unnatural turns, obviously it's being navigated by something, whether they want to admit it or not. So, I mean, once again, why all the fucking side eye mumbling, talking out the side of your mouth? Just fucking say it. What the fuck is it? And if you don't know, maybe that's the problem. Maybe our government, we've trained them that they can't tell us we don't know.
Well, I mean, you generally teach people how to treat you.
Well, I mean, we've elected them.
Right.
And I mean, by the way, I was wrong. I've said on this show and the old show multiple times that like we had Obama and he was our Gen Xer. Obama's not a Gen Xer. Obama's a baby boomer.
Oh, no.
So that means I guarantee you we probably won't have a Gen X president. It'll just go boomers, 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 boomers. Bam. Oldest millennial. Because once the old guard dies out, here comes the new hope. How old's DeSantis?
Hold on. He's in his 40s, right?
Come on, you don't know his birthday? What kind? It's not an obsession. Step your game up.
Yeah, where'd you send the FTL bouquet to?
He's 44, and that's personal information.
That's fucking. He's a millennial.
No, he's not. He's a Gen Xer.
44. According to who? According to who?
44.
According to what?
That's
according to what? No, hold up. No. I got this motherfucker this time. You overplayed your hand. According to what fucking statistic?
Fair enough. Depends who you're asking. I get it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's part of the whole thing. It's making us smaller and smaller and smaller of a generation to where we are irrelevant even more so than statistically we already are. That's my point. Jesus Christ. Can no one understand these concepts? Anyways.
Yeah, DeSantis was born in 78.
The Google card still has 65 to 80.
I would say he's a fucking Gen X. I would. But I'm starting to see shit that says like 66 to 75.
Oh, yeah. You showed us in the chat. It's like, wow.
I'm like, we don't even get a full decade, man. Damn.
Right?
Fuck us.
Hey, good news is, though, we don't care.
It's a good thing we were trained not to care.
Right.
Told not to care.
Well, they got us in the crate, right? They started us early with grunge. Hey, here's a whole bunch of music about not caring.
Well, it's also easy, like, not to care when it's like, what's your life consist of? Get up in the morning to an alarm clock, get yourself out to school, go to school, come home, let yourself in, make yourself a snack, sit down, watch TV, go outside, come home. Your mom comes home tired, pissed off she has to work, whoops your ass, tells you to go to bed, do it again tomorrow.
It sounds like adulthood. Replace school with work and mom with wife.
I never took ass whooping from my wife, man.
Well,
I'm sorry. That's just not how I like to roll.
Well,
sorry.
It can be verbally.
No kink shaming here, though.
Many gentlemen are familiar with the verbal ass whooping by the wife. Jess may have given out one a time or two.
I'm
Me?
actually, you bring up a really good point because it's like, Gen X is. I would like to see the stats on that. I bet you Gen X is probably, out of the boomers and younger, we're easily the largest generation raised by single women, right? So why wouldn't we fucking be conditioned to want what our single mothers conditioned us to want because they were the ones that raised us? See what I'm saying? Kind of makes sense. So
I told you, man. Towards the end of my school career, I started feeling like the oddball because my parents weren't divorced. Like when I started school, everybody's parents were in kindergarten. Everybody's parents were married. The divorced kids were the odd kids out. By the time I was a fucking senior, it was the kids whose parents were married were their parents were the outliers.
Is it like that? Because that was my experience. Is that your experience, Earl? Pretty much.
For the most part, yeah, sure.
Jess, is that your experience?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, see, I always hear this. There's less divorces, but then I also hear, well, because there's less marriages. Marriage is, I guess, seen as a financial thing. And I'm like, sure, whatever. For the younger people, I don't know. I'm just going by what I'm hearing. And they're like, there's less divorces than previous generations, but there's also less marriages. And I'm like, so give me a percentage then.
Yeah.
Duh. What are we in first grade here? I have to tell you how to do your job.
Right. Hard number. Yeah, the hard number isn't always tells the truth. All right, so have we deflated the balloon subject enough? See what I did there?
Well, we kind of had, because we kind of did a little detour into our weekly DeSantis fucking fanboying.
Took the air right out of it. Sure did.
At least for fanboying or fan personing. For
fangirling, are you okay with that? You okay with the gendered language?
Language?
I accept that, yes.
But you posted something in the chat that I thought was definitely fucking worth talking about as a topic because it seems like Trump decided to fire the first fucking official shot in the war between him and DeSantis. I didn't even know about those fucking tweets. I knew that Trump had made some comments, but that's all I had heard. I didn't know that he went full Trump on him, started commenting on. Go ahead and tell them what you shared in the.
Excuse me, Rich. They're truths, not tweets.
Whatever the fuck they are.
All right. Hold on, I'm pulling it up. So there was one that he retruthed, and it is a picture of Ron DeSantis. I think he's 24. I think it says it in one of the other pictures. And he's with these girls, and it's allegedly, it's a picture of him when he was a teacher, hanging out with students, drinking with them. Someone posted.
High school or college?
High school.
Okay.
It says, here is Ron DeSanctimonious grooming high school girls with alcohol as a teacher. That wasn't what Trump put up. Trump just retruthed the picture from Dong Chain Lee. And he said, that's not Ron, is it? He would never do such a thing.
Why was we fuck not around?
And is that could be random white dude. Can I just be the first person to say it? It's not exactly the clearest picture.
Right. No, you're exactly right about that. And DeSantis hasn't said anything about it as of this point. And then, right, it was like 5 truths in a row where it's Dong Chain Lee again. He said that why did DeSantis vote against Trump's border wall? We need some explanations here. And it just shows the HR 6136, Border Security and Immigration Reform Act of 2018. And it says Ron DeSantis voted nay passage on this legislation. Trump replied to that. He retruthed it, and his comment was, wow, if I knew that, I wouldn't have endorsed him, and he would have had to quit the race down 35 points. And then I want to know what Dong Chain Lee has against DeSantis. Like, what? Is Dong Chain Lee like where Trump is putting this stuff up to just look petty by retruthing it, or?
Okay, first of all,
Trump's burner account.
Who is Dong Chan Lee? That's what I want to know, because like I see a red check mark, so I'm assuming that's Truth's version of the blue check mark. Dong Chan Lee doesn't have that.
It's a new nickname
and he's
for
got
my
a Pepe
junk.
the Frog. He's got a Pepe the Frog avatar, which I mean, pretty strongly suggests that he's here to rustle jimmies, meaning he's a troll.
Yes.
And the Chan in his name is also a dead giveaway. That's not necessarily a racial thing. That's
Right.
more referring to the image board. But I mean, like, I'm just saying, like,
Look at
is this
Detective
even
Rich sniffing this out right away.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I'm sitting at True Social's website going, I'm not signing up to get in here and dig on and find out who this guy is. But if I'd have thought about it and I'd have seen that and I'd have put 2 and 2 together, I'd have probably done a quick deep dive as quick as I could have and got back and been like, this is what I could find out about him. Because I'm just like, these are batting practice fastballs down the center of the fucking plate, setting Trump up to hit a home run. And that just seems too perfect. Like, to every single thing, like he's posting all these talking points, and Trump just happens to come right up and swoop in and fucking have the comment. It's like, so whatever. I mean, I do in the picture, in an audio medium, as we describe a picture. Yes, I understand. But Chris, I agree with you. And it was the 90s. We were alive in the 90s. God damn. There's better pictures than that in the 90s. I mean, I know that the females' faces are pixelated, but the one all the way to the left, bro, she don't look under 18 with a pixelated face. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. But the whole picture looks like it's been fucking like it's the resolution's been lowered, and then the victim's quote unquote face is pixelated. So yeah, I mean, look, it is what it is. It's gonna land with the people it's gonna land with that he wants it to land with. And anyone who was like on the fence about DeSantis, first of all, anyone who's on the fence about DeSantis is probably in Trump's camp. So they don't care about this type of shit anyways. Because Trump, I mean, there's video of Trump walking in and out of fucking underage beauty pageants backstage with naked 15, 16-year-old girls on camera in the background. No one gives a fuck. Remember when we talked about that shit?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. No one gives a fuck. So he's drinking with underage. What? Is he their father? Do you have pictures of him fucking them? Do you have pictures of him harassing, assaulting them?
I also feel we would have seen the P tape by now. It's been like 10 years.
But I mean, everything that I just said for Trump and all of Trump's defenders goes for DeSantis too. But this isn't for DeSantis. This isn't to get people to hate DeSantis who like DeSantis. This is to get people fired up for Trump. Do you see what I'm saying? This is a tactic. This is not this is a means to an end. Like I said, first shot in the war fired. Bam.
So the last 2 pictures is a picture of Trump. It's a Trump's Twitter. And it's when Trump's saying the Florida election should be called in favor of Rick Scott and Ron DeSantis, and large numbers of new ballots showing up out of nowhere, and many ballots are missing or forged. An honest vote count is no longer possible. Ballots massively infected must go with election night. And then there's like this little text over that says, Dear DeSantis 2024 brothers, you hate Trump's obsession with election fraud, while his obsession with election fraud saved your boy DeSantis. And then he said, there's another one, all of this again, still Dong Chen Lee. DeSantis, he posted, DeSantis says he's glad violent Trump protesters are getting arrested. Florida top state for people charged in January 6th Capitol riot, Research Center says. And Trump said, what about Antifa and BLM, Ron? But the thing that offended me about this one is Dong Chan Lee, his comment on that little news snippet was "wake up, dissimps," and I felt attacked.
Well, you're millennial and a woman, so.
I know.
If you Google Dong Chan Lee, you get a chemistry professor at UNLV. But if you Google Dong Chan Lee Truth Social, all you get is news stories about these truths.
I'll look him up on here on Truth Social.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with a name like that and a Pepe,
That's what I'm saying. The Pepe the
Avatar.
Frog and the Chan. I'm going. My brain just went, and there it is. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of like it's telling you all you need to know. But I mean, look. Here's the thing. What the fuck ever. I understand. It's. What is it? What do they call it? The October surprise, where they leak. One side will leak something to the press that they right before. I mean, like right before, like the eve or a couple days before the actual election day for their opponent, but they'll do it through like non-official channels. So it's not like we didn't release it. In fact, we totally have nothing to do with this. But if you see it and don't want to vote for our opponent, hey, that's up to you. Come on, guys. Like, here's what scares me. I never have felt in my life until the last 5 years that I needed to explain this to the average fucking American citizen. And I feel I have to explain it to probably about 70% of American citizens. Because I don't think many American citizens bother to think this deeply or even realize it. Like, wait a minute, this shit ain't adding up. I'm tired of being told 2 + 2 = 5.
Sorry, I got sucked into this guy's truth.
But
it's nothing.
But a balloon.
Oh, I was going to ask you, are these screenshots from an account you have?
I mean, I'm on his page. They're on here.
Oh, okay.
You gonna rag her about her battery life?
No, I was going to ask her to go to Dong Chan's profile if you can and see if there's any info. Like, in the about is if there's like, you know what I'm saying? Like do a little bit of digging and see if there's anything he linked to.
You run a lot of things in the background, Jess. You can improve your battery life.
Leave me and my multiple tabs alone, okay? They're there as reminders. His little bio says, I am a staunch paleoconservative who has been supporting Donald J. Trump since 2016. In Trump we trust, in God we trust. At Real Donald Trump.
Where's it say he's from?
It doesn't. It just says he joined in February of 2022, and that is...
So a year.
Yes, that is all you get on his...
Truth was launched?
No, I think it started in 2021, didn't it? Am I wrong? I could be wrong. It
started after he was out as president, so... Yeah, I mean, it's been around for over a year, right? So I'd put it 2021.
No, it is February 2022.
How close together are his truths?
He posts a lot.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's all Bible verses and Trump and hating on DeSantis. And it's like a very good equal mix of all of them. So I've scrolled past probably 10 and I'm on yesterday.
Okay, so he's very active, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's about, I guarantee you, that motherfucker's there and he's all about rustling some jimmies. And if you don't know what that means, that's just because you ain't one of him. That's all. Like this seems like what type of person that like I'm not gonna go so far as to say like he's paid to do this type of shit, but like this is his hobby and his pastime is stirring the pot online. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's where I'm like, okay, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But still, once again, here's the thing, and I said this with Trump and I'll say this with DeSantis. I don't care who it is. If there can be, if the validity of those pictures can be proven, and the people involved, the women involved were underage, and they're willing to talk, someone needs to listen. I don't give a fuck who likes him and what political party he's a member of. Like, dude, you're a teacher. Do you understand? You don't go drinking with your underage students. I don't give a fuck. Well, you don't understand how often that happens. And that's fucked up. That happens often. Okay. Period. We got enough problems in this fucking country. You don't need that type of shit.
Here's a scenario. What if, because you notice the vague Well, just read the post. Read the initial post about him with the underage girls, because I don't want to defend a point if I'm about to use the wrong language.
He said the original post is just a text over the picture, and it said, "Here is Ron DeSanctimonious grooming high school girls with alcohol as a teacher," and then he has.
Never mind my point then, because he said high school.
Yeah.
Like,
no, and then there's another one where he posts, it's the same picture, and it says Ron DeSantis having a drink party with his students when he was a high school teacher, having drinks with underage girls and cuddling with them. Certainly looks pretty gross, and a word that I will never be able to say.
Well, never mind. My point was, well, what if he was a college teacher? You can be underage and be 20, but never mind. Point obliterated by the phrase high school.
Right. There is a Hill Reporter article about this, and it's from October 24th, 2001. Ron DeSantis accused of attending drinking party with students at high school where he taught. After college and before law school, Ron DeSantis spent a year teaching history at a high school in Georgia. According to a source with close knowledge of the matter, during that time, he was photographed partying with underage students. Ron DeSantis is joining the upper school history department, earned his degree in history and political science from Yale. Just giving a bunch of Just giving a ton of backstory. In 2001, when DeSantis joined the staff of the high school, he'd have been in his 20s with college and work politics already under his peripheral belt. Students would have been high school co-eds, teenagers, and some of whom have been living on campus. So where would he be teaching? Oh, it's a boarding school and a day school.
Okay. I was going to say, that sounds, well, I mean, first of all, I'm like, wait a minute. Motherfucker, you went to Yale? You ain't, this ain't some dangerous times fucking high school gangster's paradise teaching shit.
Right.
He ain't Michelle Pfeiffering it up in there. All right. So there ain't no lean on me situations going on in this. Like, yeah, that's a private school. That's an academy.
Yes.
There's a difference, folks. Private school, you can drive past on one tank of gas. An academy, if you get poor enough gas mileage, you might lose it on the campus, run out of gas on campus.
But, so it's called, where he taught was called Darlington.
Darlington. I teach at Darlington.
According to our whistleblower, he had a reputation among students for being a young, hot teacher who girls loved. The girls in the photo are believed to have graduated in 2002, making them seniors at the time.
So
I mean, that also means they could have been 18.
Which, I mean, at that point, okay, underage, we all know why they use that term. They could have said under the drinking age, but we know why they use the term
it's inflammatory, yes.
Because the word minors wasn't used, because that would probably be actionable. So, yeah, guys, it's all there. Just pay attention to language, man. And they tell you everything by what they don't tell you. A lot of times.
And quite honestly, if he didn't buy him the booze and he didn't fuck any of them, who gives a fuck? I said it earlier today, yelling at the TV. There's no law against being weird.
I mean, can I say that was this in Florida, Jess? I'm sorry.
No, it was in Georgia.
Well, no, because I was going to say from personal experience, at least in 94, wasn't hard to drink underage in Florida. I mean, if you really want to drink underage in Florida, even when I was under 21 in Florida, but I was over 18, it wasn't hard to drink. Like, I could walk into some bars and just sit down and order and start drinking. No problem. Not even a second look.
I had a driver's license. This was back when they still printed our driver's license. The ink I must have got the last run on the ribbon in the printer, because my birthday is in 1979. Well, the top of my 9 was very, very, very faded. And you found the right motherfucker off the boat whose cousin just gave him a job. Yes, 1974. Here you go. Dude, I bought so much booze with from 16 days in high school.
I'm telling you, that's what
your liver got sick just by buying all that liquor.
I supplied so many parties.
Dude. No, this is just, I mean, that's pure speculation. I'm just saying, and it's anecdotal evidence. I mean, it absolutely has no bearing on anything, even if it did happen in Florida. But I mean, once again, going to need more info, and we're going to need a lot more than just a blurry picture that looks like, the resolution's been fucked with via like MS Paint. By the way, we're not even talking like fucking Photoshop.
It looks like white dude in 90. It looks like white dude with 2002 haircut with brown hair. Like could it be him? Yes. Could it not be him? Yes. Like it's very pixelated.
Could it be him? Could it be early 2000s Latin sensation Mark Anthony? Who knows?
Yeah.
Could be a balloon. Could be.
Yeah.
Could be a weather balloon. Could be a balloon with an EMP in it.
All I want to know is, did he grab him by the pussy? That's all I want to know.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that is a valid question. Because if he did, actually, if she was over 18, that is two adults. Yeah.
Well,
it's only
drinking. Then I think, that nullifies
if he grabbed it and she said, no, then that's where it comes in.
Yeah, this was still in the early 2000s where, like, if a girl had just sniffed alcohol, then she couldn't come back and say later, like, nah, I know I consented, but I could have been under the influence.
But, too, also, you're calling him Daddy D at 42, so I'm guessing right out of college he probably wasn't hard on the eyes.
Oh, no, he wasn't.
I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. I'm not a chick and I'm not gay, but I'm just like.
He looks classically handsome.
I'm like, ain't he kind of chunky?
Well, now, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
He's not chunky.
Oh, whoa.
Yo, that's dad bod like a motherfucker. Come on.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Oh, boy.
That is dad bod like a motherfucker, man.
Shots fired.
He looks like Harrison Ford, doesn't he?
He keeps fucking around. He's going to be shopping at Destination XL, is what I'm saying. He's like a couple cupcakes away.
He is nowhere near. How dare you?
Hey, maybe that's just his thing.
I bet you his knees pop when he gets up in the morning. We can smell our own. I'm just saying.
Men can be thick, too.
He'll let you smack his ass just once. I know I'm thick.
He could just be totally jacked underneath his suit.
How do you know, Rich? He'd be shredded.
Sure. I mean, he could be. He could.
To wear a pillow under his shirt? What the fuck?
Right, yeah.
What the hell?
You can usually see shredded in a suit, Jess. Just saying.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Is your new year still falling flat? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy. But Planet Fitness has the cure. Boost your energy with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs for $1 down and $10 a month. No commitment. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 16th. See Home Club for details. Is your new year still falling flat? Do you avoid stairs with multiple steps? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy or low E. But there's a cure. Now through February 16th, join Planet Fitness for just $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment. With clean, spacious clubs and tons of equipment, you can boost your energy after just one workout. Leave low E behind and find your big fitness energy at Planet Fitness. Join in the free PF app for $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, February 16th. See Home Club for details.
When you hire your local CertaPro painters, you get the power of doing it right. Detailed project proposals, excellent customer service, and trusted professionals who get the job done on time and on budget. The power of experience. We're kings of the scaffolding and pros with the stucco. We've been there, done that. Get your project started at CertaPro.com and get the power of pro.
Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated.
Is your new year still falling flat? You are not alone. This year, millions will be diagnosed with low energy. But Planet Fitness has the cure. Boost your energy with tons of equipment in our clean and spacious clubs for $1 down and $10 a month. No commitment. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 16th. See Home Club for details.
The always ready for breakfast deal.
Going to bed already? Yep. Breakfast at Mickey D's tomorrow. So, sooner I go to bed, sooner it'll be morning. Sooner I'll be at Mickey D's.
This is actually brilliant.
You can come too. Turn out that light.
There's a deal for every breakfast strategist at McDonald's.
Start your morning with a $3 bagel breakfast sandwich, available only in the app. Offer valid 1/2 through 1/15/23 at participating U.S. McDonald's. Valid one time per day. McD app download and registration required.
Hey, Mike. Glad you could join me for some great seafood.
Me too.
Wait, why are you dressed in fishing gear?
You said we were going out to catch great seafood, right?
Yes, to Popeyes. Do you even know how to fish?
No, I thought you did.
Oh, yeah, I can catch pretty good seafood at Popeyes. Let's go.
Let Popeyes do the fishing while you enjoy our delicious signature seafood. Get Popeyes flounder fish sandwich or shrimp tackle box before they're gone. Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Thank Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. They hate you all. Here inside the system. Violence is a system.
But okay, so all that aside, like, so for serious here, have you guys? Can you guys pick out the pattern of what's been going on with these like topics the last couple weeks, and pick the topics that are all connected? I'm just seeing if anyone pays attention to the podcast who's on the show. Sorry.
Oh man.
Come on, guys.
I was not told there'd be a test.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about DeSantis versus Trump.
All right.
What else have we talked about along those lines recently?
Joe Biden versus Trump.
Okay. All right. This is a painful game to play, and I am sorry I attempted to play it. I'll just say it. When we talked about the whole Tim Pool versus fucking Steven Crowder thing, now you have this Eliza Blue character who's made her rounds in the right-wing fucking sphere of political commentators and shit because she talks about trafficking and all this. She's got caught up in some bullshit that I don't even know is bullshit, but I don't know. And my point is that all this nonsense surrounding the Republican Party, it's only getting worse between now and Election Day 2024, folks. And then know this. Set your motherfucking watch and wait for it, because it's going to happen. The Democratic Party's got their own slice of humble pie coming their way too. We just don't know what it is yet. I'm telling you, this is political theater played out. I mean, this is dividing the parties. This is what this shit is.
Oh, you're seeing divisions coming. Is that what this is?
Why would you go after
extreme factions and regular factions? Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead as if I'm preaching to people who completely think I'm wrong, and I'm going to make my case. Trump versus DeSantis, that splits the base almost in half. All right, and let's be honest, DeSantis is going to get a lot more of the old GOP types. Trump's going to get a lot more of the libertarian, a lot more of the radical Bernie bros who jumped ship when Bernie was fucking, you know what I'm saying? And then the maggots, the MAGA hat wearers.
No, I mean, I get what you're saying. I would vote for one and not the other.
Okay, so that splits them. Then you have them going after two of the youngest but biggest pundits for, or not the youngest, but two of the biggest pundits for the younger generation, meaning the millennials, in Tim Pool and Steven Crowder. And I mean, like, I'm not saying that that's manufactured, but that was like drama that happened because of contract disputes. They got blown up and turned into a bunch of bullshit. And now Tim Pool's being dragged into this Eliza Blue thing. And I'm just like, it's amazing to watch because all these people are coming and they're just going, look at this. How can you support this party? How could you support him? And it's all just smear campaigns. Discredit everybody. It's scorched earth. It really is scorched earth. I guarantee you the people who do not give a fuck about the Republicans look at it this way. I don't care if they all die, as long as they don't win.
Hey,
but just
Rich,
understand,
really
that's
point.
coming back the other way. Just understand that.
No, it does.
You got a really good point, because people are asking, is Joe Biden going to run in 2024? And all the Democrats are kind of hush-hush. They're like, yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe. But, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Joe says he wants. Joe has said he wants
But
to.
here's the thing. Just like with Rich and said about the Republicans, nobody's demonizing any other Democrats.
I watched Crystal and Sagar on Breaking Points. They're like after the State of the Union reaction to it. And one of the points that was made was so valid. Joe Biden, except for like the really partisan people, like nobody really, like Joe Biden is just Joe. He's just there. It's like you might not like Joe Biden, but you don't really hate Joe Biden. Whereas Trump, you either love Trump or you hate Trump. Trump does not provoke a reaction, whereas Biden is just a big old.
I feel sorry for Biden. No bullshit.
That is, and that is another part of what they're saying. It's apathy, pity, and disregard all mixed and together is how they were describing it basically.
Why, Earl? I'm just curious. Why?
Oh, because they're putting him through so much bullshit, bro. I mean, it's great to be president of the United States and everything, but yeah, I mean, he's way past, the golden years. He's way past retirement age, the man should be on a fucking deck or a boat fishing. And
he knew what he was signing up for. He ran.
Yeah, but I don't think he signed up for it, though. I think people go do that. Well, I've been doing this for 40-some years. Yeah, I guess I can do it again.
Yeah, I don't know if he knew
out
what
there. He talks and he loses his shit. I'm like, oh, Joe, I'm sorry.
Well, dude, that was another thing they said. When he talks and opens his mouth, we cringe. We inwardly cringe because it's like they were talking about that, and I'm just going, holy shit. I know a lot of people who have basically said the same sentiment in not so many words. Like, I'm just like, oh my God, he's going to fucking fuck everything up when he opens his mouth.
Well, I mean, didn't we have the same thing for the previous 4 years? Just, in a different way. Oh, shit.
No, absolutely.
Here he goes.
Well, I mean, once again, our parents' generation, our generation, and the very tip of the spear of Jess's generation remembers Reagan in his later years enough to be like, well, we've been through this before. Having senility running the country doesn't mean we're fucking, we're fucked.
Earl, with the feel bad thing, I'm with you on that because, I mean, I think I've been a proponent of it for the last couple years.
It feels like elder abuse at times.
Well, yeah, I think, and I think bagging on him for being old and being his age is low-hanging fruit. Like, we're watching someone become an 80-year-old man. Like, come on. But
that's the thing. 80-year-old men who don't have all their facilities probably shouldn't be running the country then.
Right. I mean, I'm not talking about like the comedians or even his political foes beating on him or anything. I mean, that's going to happen no matter who it was. But it's just when he loses his train of thought and he's trying to be so professional and so stand up and like the State of the Union address when he said, he was supposed to say, if you try to raise the price of prescription drugs, I'm going to veto it. I don't know what the fuck he said instead, but that wasn't it. And I'm just like,
there's a podcast I listened to that plays a clip of him saying happy birthday, and the name is nonsense. He had no idea who he was singing. But okay, so here's my question. Well, and we know the answer, so I feel like I'm just asking it for the sake of entertainment. Where's all the people who were screaming about whatever amendment it was that can take the president out of power if he's deemed mentally unfit? Where's that crowd at? Oh wait, they're on his team. They're not going to call for it.
Well, yeah, and he's not mentally unfit. It's just he's
is he? We're talking about someone slipping into senility. I'm aware of the irony of me fucking up saying that. I'd say someone slipping into senility.
Well, do we want to?
You think they're letting Joe Biden? You think if he wasn't the president, they'd be letting Joe Biden drive a car right now? They'd probably be thinking about, hey, Grandpa, give us the keys.
Oh, dude, if he was in our family, he'd have had his keys taken away. Come the fuck on now.
He'd have been in hospice right now.
Well, what side of my family? He might be in some state home right now if he was inserted on one side of my family.
Hospice, Earl. Hospice is wait to die. It's a little extreme. He's just going senile.
It's not just in your final days. They help people go to the bathroom. They help people have some quality of life.
Assisted living and hospice are much, much different, dude.
Not here in Kansas.
Anyway,
one place, one number.
So slipping into senility, whatever the fuck. Let's slip into the fucking State of the Union. You guys had a lot to say about it, so go ahead.
I was just really more like rage texting because it was, to me, the entire State of the Union was nothing more than I'm here to tell you all the shit that I ran my campaign on. This is what I'm going to do. Taking credit for shit that he didn't do, taking credit for shit that Trump did, and just bold-faced lying to everyone.
Oh, and by the way, I'm running for 2024 president. It was a re-election speech.
I'm honestly kind of surprised that somebody from the Democrat, his camp, entourage, whatever, didn't come out and go, no, President Biden is not announcing he's running in 2024. That's not what he said. So because that's what they do every time. He gives a speech, people go, this is what he said, and here comes the PR team. No, that's not what he said.
Right.
The fuck it ain't, but okay.
Well, like I said, and it's a joke, but it's not funny. It's half the time I didn't know what the fuck he said. I was like, we're gonna what? Say it again, because he just mumbles. He gets lost, and he tries so hard to be strong. like when the State of the Union was going on, I was telling Jess, the speechwriter, fucking amazing. I felt good to be an American until he started trying to really talk about it and put that fucking energy behind it. I was like, oh, Joe, please stop. You're fucking up. Oh.
And you're right. His speechwriter, good on them. If to everyone who hasn't been paying attention,
well, no, I mean the lies and the credit and taking other people's ideas, I get it. But he was really trying to be a leader. He was really trying to be an enforcer with the speech, not him. Unfortunately, he can't do that. That's why I was like, stop, it's hurt. It hurts. But the words he was speaking, I was down with.
I haven't watched any of these for years. The coverage enough the next day is you end up you can read a transcript, you get all the bullet points. 538 did a little analyzation of the State of the Unions back to 1965. About 24% of what's said in them actually ever comes to existence. So there's that. And then it was
that's a big thing that just doesn't get brought up.
Yeah. And then I read a PolitiFact fact checked half the shit or all the shit Biden said. Like a good 40 to 50% of it is bullshit. Like it's the way he framed it. Specifically, the one, I'm sure you guys have seen this because it is so easy to just crush it. The one about what is it? He said 25% of the debt was accrued under the previous administration.
Right.
And it's like, yes, but number one, all the COVID money, both parties agreed on that one. Number two, 30% of the debt is from Obama, but if you want to parse that, he served 8 years. But if you do a year by year, guess who's on top? And Uncle Joe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
How could he not be?
Right. So, I mean, yeah, it's like statistics, right? I love statistics, but at the same time, I'll admit statistics are all in how you frame them, right? You can make statistics say whatever the fuck you want, like if you frame them the right way. So yeah, these things are all, they're all bullshit, dude. Like I feel like it's the government's like beginning of the year welcome party. Like, my old job used to have a meeting at the beginning of the year. We get the whole department together and we'd rah it for 2 days. And like, I feel like this is what it is on that level.
Reminds me of like when you see, you go to see a movie, you're waiting for the movie to start and they start the trailers. And then a trailer for like a new Star Wars movie that you didn't know was coming out or something crazy is like, and you see it and you're like, oh shit. And you watch it and you're like, that's fucking cool. And then like, a year later you go see the movie and you're like, where was half the shit that was in that trailer?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not nuts. That was real, right? Like everybody else saw that, right? And the surprising thing is a lot of people will be like, no, I never saw it.
And like with Biden's jobs numbers, right? That's another one that it's real easy to poke holes in. They're like, yeah, dummy, you were president when the fucking economic rebound happened, when all the jobs came back. Of course you were going to have those job numbers.
There's also another take on that statistic also, because a lot of people were laid off during COVID, right? And you have a lot of like tech companies laying off. You have, there are certain things that are trending down and jobs that are going away. So to say that, more jobs are being filled, a lot of that too, in a statistic that I read, is because people are having to pick up more than one job in order to make ends meet while they're transitioning.
Yeah, they called it underemployed under Trump. Now all of a sudden it's the gig economy under Biden. That's good. People are working. But it was, you're so underemployed. It's your main job. You have to deliver rich people their food. Isn't that horrible? Now it's a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're a small business person.
I really didn't join in the back and forth, like the live chat kind of that was going on you guys had, because I was just thinking like back to all the State of the Union addresses, and I just came to the conclusion that Chris came to. I just didn't actually put the work in and go fucking look up the stats. But I'm thinking, yeah, I remember Bush talking about Mars, going back to the moon.
MARS.
Bitches. Mars, bitches. Red rocks. Yeah. But yeah, none of that never happened. The mandatory 2-year, either in the service or in some sort of volunteer corps, that never materialized. I mean, like we could just keep going and keep going. And I believe in Obama's either first or second State of the Union, he was up there beating the war drum for single payer, basically the European healthcare model, not the modified Romney care that he ended up settling for.
Yeah.
So once again, what you ran on, you redoubled down on your State of the Union, you still were bullshitting about.
What I'm saying to you is 1 in every 4 promises Joe Biden made to us last night will only come true.
And here's the thing, you probably won't even hear about half of them. This is it. This is the only time you're going to hear this shit. This is why Earl, I swear to God, I'm not trying to dunk on you or nothing. I'm trying to drag you or roast you, dude. I'm just shocked that you're like, yeah, the words. I'm like, really? They're completely hollow, dude. They're not real. I understand.
Okay.
I understand that, but wait. I understand the sentiment of what you said. Okay, I know it was bullshit, but like, how does it move you if it was written and the intent when writing it was to manipulate you? How can it like even have any effect on you besides maybe anger?
The same way any good speech does. W did it after 9/11. Obama did it when it was his first election. Just the things that the speechwriters put in there, I'm just like, yes, God bless America, please, one time. I'm calling my one time. This is it. And just the shit that, the speechwriter had put in the State of the Union is no different. It's just one of those moments that I needed to hear that. But I at the end of the day, is it true? Probably not. Is it going to come to fruition? Absolutely not. It's just, like I said, it's good speech writing. It's one of those that you do stand up and applaud, and you're like, yes, that's exactly it. Now do it. No, all right, well.
See, but to me, if you're standing up and applauding and you know it's not real, you know it's bullshit, on some level at that moment, you're LARPing, dude.
You're
live action role playing.
Words without actions are nothing.
No, I
They're
get
meaningless.
it. I do. I don't know. It's like a good book or a good movie. It's full of shit, but hey, man, that was fucking amazing.
I'm just happy we now live in a world that when the president's on, there's still shit to fucking watch. That used to fuck my day up as a kid, man. It's on every fucking channel.
When they called Obama a liar, he just kind of looked at him like, do it again. I swear to God, I'm going to draw it out.
That moment, though.
Biden had that interaction, though. That was funny.
But still, though, and Republicans, you started it. That, to me, was the beginning of political decorum going into the shitter in this country, was that dude shouting out, "You lie," at Obama. Like, you were supposed to be our last line of defense against people fucking acting right, I guess, for lack of a better way to say it. And that's where it just started to where, dude, just some of the have you ever, read just some of the things these people say to each other on the floor? Like, dude, we're not that far off from idiocracy. South Carolina thinks you're a dick. Like, that shit's coming, dude. And I think it started with that shit. And then Biden's engaging the guy last night. And Pelosi ripped up the fucking page. The one, really?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is... The State of the Union is political theater on its grandest stage, pretty much. Like, outside of maybe the debates running up to a presidential election, maybe. I mean, it's become a show. It's become a spectacle.
Wag the Dog wasn't an instructional video.
You tune in, and you watch the president give his speech, and you know that one side is going to stand up and applaud, the other side is going to sit there and not applaud for half the stuff. And then the other side's going to give their rebuttal, and then the pundits are going to come out. And like I said, ultimately, here's what blows my mind. Nobody brings out the fact that this is like 75% bullshit. Why are you sitting here talking about it like, oh, this plan to go to Mars that President Bush has is one of the most, brave plans since a young JFK took off. Shut the fuck up.
Never fucking happened.
Not even sniffed it, dude. We didn't even send a motherfucking helium balloon up to the moon. Didn't even take a picture of the bitch. Okay? What the fuck? And it's I know I'm hung up on that because that's my shit. Space travel and exploration is my shit. But there's Chris did the legwork. He could tell you more. But I mean, still, it's like I'm just like, this is absurdity. And this is for what? Earl's fired up about a speech that ultimately is nothing. Sound and fury, signifying nothing. Jess, you were rage posting about it. It's mostly bullshit. There's nothing to be upset about. I'm not, by the way, guys, I'm not saying that you're wrong for feeling this way.
But I'm so tired of that just being accepted. Why is that just accepted? They're going to do this big State of the freaking Union, and they're going to stand in front of you, and they're going to tell you at best 75% lies, and we're like, all right, good speech.
Well, but this time around, the next couple years, the side writing the story is on his side. So it's going to be all, everything's great, we're moving in the right, and then as soon as the other side gets back into power, it's going to be, they won't accept it. The narrative will be, this is all bullshit, blah, 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 and the cycle repeats because now the media is partisan. And they'll tell you to their face or not, which is hilarious to me. Prove it to you in 10 seconds with your own work.
See, I hate it.
And trust me, I bet you if you watched the Fox News last night, all they did was fucking just throw shade for the next hour after he spoke, right? And but I'm telling you, I was telling my wife at the time, like when the power changed hands, and she for some reason was into Fox News. I was like, watch, dude, watch. It's gonna happen. Everything right now is great and everything's good. And as soon as Biden takes power, they're going to switch. CNN's going to think everything is great. And now this guy's going to be falling on Fox News. And it happened. And you're right. And we accept it. Like they're telling stories. They're not. I know they're called news stories. We're taking that a little bit too literally. It's supposed to be reporting on what happened.
Yeah. Like I said, it's like every other very broken system in America. There's no fixing it. There's no point in getting like up in arms about it. I just am. And I'm just going to stay there.
Look, I mean, there's whole fucking cottage industries based around the feeling that you're struggling with right now. That there's there's a bunch of different ways to describe it, but there's no one word that describes everything. And I get what you're talking about. But I mean, the point is that like when we talk about empires rise and fall, we talk about the fall of Rome and all this shit and the Mayans, those countries are still there. Like America ain't going anywhere. We're still going to be here. Like, and I don't think like if we slip out of the number one spot, quote unquote, like in any of our lifetimes that we're going to be like, go from 1 to like 5 above the last one. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be the penultimate to the very last.
What are we
country.
Number one? Maybe
whatever.
GDP?
I don't know, dude. Whatever the fuck the fucking people who run around still calling America number one. And I'm like, you mean globalist number one? That's the country. These are global billionaire citizens, dude. They're not looking at countries anymore. You're looking at countries. That's the problem. When they're done with us, we can go back to being a country. And that's my point, Jess. That's what I'm getting at. That's what you got to prepare your kids for if you give a fuck. If you don't, just do whatever the fuck you want to do is best for you and fucking tip a glass and enjoy the end of the empire, I guess. But all you can really do is just, guys, the good times don't last forever, just like the bad times don't last forever. And eventually the shit show, we ain't going to be the hot spot to be. And we're going to have to clean up after this part. Prepare them for that. That's the best answer I got. Better than sitting around doing nothing.
Yeah, it just sucks.
I don't have any kids, so I don't have to have that conversation. Tell the cats to strap in.
Speaking of having that was another part that really pissed me off about this, the State of the Union, was they had not that they had Tyree Nichols' parents there, but they did have Tyree Nichols' parents there. And Biden went on this whole thing about, no one, I didn't have to have the talk with my kids that people of color have to have with their kids. And I'm like, we were literally just talking about that last week. Everyone has to have the talk.
Because you're upper class, Joe. That's why.
You're upper class and you're old as fuck. His kids are probably older than us.
Middle class and below, everyone of every race I've come in contact with seems to have that talk.
Here's the reality of the situation, and I think the reason that they get to pimp that type of bullshit on us is because like we don't think of ourselves like as the parents, but everybody my age, around my age, saw the Rodney King, lived through the Rodney King situation. Okay, we've heard the stories, we've grown up with the internet, and we're parents' age. Some of us are reaching grandparents' age now. We've had the talk. You 80-year-old boomer, what the fuck are you talking about? Go back to Mayberry RFD, dude. Go tell Aunt B to make your ass some bean pies, motherfucker. Okay, because I don't know. Everybody's had that talk.
And
everybody has. That is a boomer talking point now. That's the end of it. I don't understand. That is a losing. That pisses me off because I'm like, if the Democrats thought that is the pandering thing that they're doing, like, boy, we're going to get everybody on our side. He went over like, sure, Grandpa. Even amongst the people online who were in his corner.
Dude, and 75% of us locally were at ground zero for Malice Green. Now, trust me, I believe these two events were probably one of the reasons my parents were like, yeah, you say sir. You say please, you say thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I come from a fucking family full of truck drivers, which means you got the federal government crawling up your ass and down your throat, watching everything you do. So they taught me to be super extra careful. You know what I'm saying? Like all that. Anyway, whatever. Doesn't matter.
My parents grew up in the city. That's why.
Well, that's what
they knew
like,
what was up.
I had family from down south. I had family from up north. I had family from the city. I had family from the country. And you know what they all said? Ultimately, your fight ain't with that motherfucking cop. It's in the courtroom. Act accordingly. Mm-hmm. By the way, if you act a fucking fool, we ain't bailing you out. Don't do it on a Friday on a 3-day weekend, or else you'll be eating bologna sandwiches come Monday.
Well, that's what I say, too, that with getting back to the class conversation, I think half the motivation was probably like, look, we don't have money to fucking bail you out. Don't fucking be nice to the cop. Mm-hmm. Don't get hauled in.
So I mean, that is just, oh God, it's a talking point that the Democrats let him make, and they didn't fucking interrupt him because they were like, okay, yeah, maybe there's like some really old boomers out there who are still undecided, and this will play well with them because everybody our age and younger was like, okay, dude, at this point, anyone who goes, no, it is less common for parents to have the talk, then more common for parents to have the talk with people 45 and under. You're lying. Prove it. Because I'll take an informal poll of 50 fucking people. You pick them at random. We'll find out. What do you got to offer? You see what I'm saying? Like, don't. It's intellectual dishonesty. They're not being truthful. Okay, even if you didn't get the talk from your parents, you've heard it from somebody else.
Maybe you should have had the talk with Hunter, Joe.
You know, that's where I thought a lot of the quote unquote pundits / comedians online were going to go. Oh. They pretty much left that alone. I'm like, are they making like just videos that are just going to suck the soul out of Biden's body when they fucking hit the internet? Because I mean, I'd have figured there'd be at least 10 hours worth of footage for every one of those pundits' web channels by now. Just talking about that. Like, yeah, we know you didn't have the talk with Hunter. It shows. Look at his
right. Did y'all know, have y'all seen now that they confirmed that he has admitted the laptop is his?
Oh, absolutely, because he's suing the shop.
Right?
If it's not your laptop, then what the fuck are you suing the shop for?
Who lied to the police and why are they not in jail? But that's
if it's not your laptop, then where'd all the fucking pictures and shit come from?
Yeah, how come all those pictures are of you? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, God damn it. You know what that means? That means that motherfucker really is hung. Son of a bitch.
Out of all of the shit on the laptop, you care about the man's size. I love you.
If it's any consolation, Brad Pitt. I've seen like nude paparazzi photos. It looks like a mouse peeping over a haystack. I'm like, that's rough.
I've heard that. But no, I'm just saying, like, he's rich, he's good looking, he's got connections. You got to be hung too. Come on.
No, I know, but God got Brad Pitt back. It's like, you're good looking, you're Brad Pitt, and there you go, Thumbdick. You have a good time with that.
Right.
I mean, he has, so good for him.
The one thing cosmetic surgery can't fix. Here you go.
Oh, you can get it extended. It's a thing.
Okay, hold on.
No.
This sucks. This is going to take up all of our... No, he's right. This is going to take up all of our dick talk for the week. He's right, because there was a fucking thing on Jerry Springer decades ago about it. This guy it's the ligament that's at the base of your cock. If you feel up under your gooch, You got like another
does
4
it really
or 5
work?
inches of dick in there. Hold on.
I figured there'd be a backlog of these scheduled for decades.
You have to wait. I'm going to tell you the entire thing. When they cut the ligament, it gives you like, if there's like, let's say 4 inches, it gives you like 3 extra inches, but it don't stand up anymore. It gets hard, but you got to you have to direct it everywhere.
Oh.
So it's just hard.
You have to hold it with both hands.
Yes. So if you ever see a guy in porn who's got like, wow, he barely made the cut, but he can't, his shit's hard, but it's not like standing at attention. That's that.
That doesn't sound like an even trade-off.
Now do you know why no one's lined? Now do you? That's why I said, let me finish. And this is why you're not lined up for one. Because God knows I would have already had 2 of them done.
Yeah, right.
Like, start snipping shit up my ass.
Yeah.
See what that does.
Snip the ligament after that ligament. Let's go.
The musician shit didn't work out. Porn's got to.
Yeah.
I don't need to stand in the line.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. Anyways, so anything else about I mean, like at all about the speech, the retort from the Republican side?
Liar.
You guys. Well, I'm talking about the response afterwards. I don't even know who gave it.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Huckabee Sanders. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a bad pitch.
I agreed with like half of it.
I enjoyed her speech. I get very annoyed at the very fluffy speech writing. My father once took me to this pond and we stood over I just shut the fuck up. Talk about what's relevant. I don't care. Well,
it's ironic you said that because that's what I like. The overall tone of her speech was like, hey, Joe, you talked about like shit that doesn't matter to most people. That's what I liked what the point of her speech was. Like, could she talk about things that like matter to everybody?
Right.
When she opened with, excuse me if I don't believe, and how I heard it was, I don't believe a goddamn word he said. I was like, oh, this is going to be good. I could tell. Buckle in, folks.
Just threw some shade at her old boss.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Will? No,
what about Trump's response?
I haven't watched it yet.
It's only a 2-minute response, but it was like, yeah.
Well, shit, if I'd known that, I would have
fucking shit.
Sorry. You sent it. I was expecting another 30-minute of, again, fluff.
No, God, no. And not even close to fluff. It was all action-packed.
Well, damn. I'll have to go watch this.
It is because he's a Mike Tyson round 1 punch-out with that speech. I'm not fucking around.
Well, if it's 2 minutes, I mean, we have the...
Bro, you just admitted to the Biden speech getting you rock hard like it was the fucking, they'll take our lives, but never our freedom. So, dude, no. No, you don't get to make that claim. your credibility is due, sir. Okay?
No, I'm just saying. I can say that. The fucking speechwriter was pretty good that time. Like I said, moments in history, there's plenty of speeches that were asked not what your country could do. There's plenty of speechwriters that are, they should win awards for that shit.
Can we go back to the days where maybe, I don't know, the person speaking is the speechwriter? Is that allowed?
Fuck no. Could you imagine a Biden-written speech?
Bananas, ice cream.
Considering how much we ripped off our fucking political system.
Today I saw a turtle.
The Republic of Rome. I would say that probably it's been a very long-standing tradition for speeches to be written for politicians. And it's probably the exception that the politician writes his own speeches.
Hold on. Because it hasn't been mentioned. Can we talk about the second gentleman and the first lady kissing?
Yeah, what the hell?
I mean, seriously?
Like, straight up on the mouth. Was that like the official declaration? COVID's over. This is how we greet people now. No more elbow bumps.
What are you?
Or is
why
their
you guys?
president a swinger?
What a rild. Wait, what happened? A husband and wife kissed? Is that what you guys are pissed about?
No, Jill Biden kissed Kamala Harris's husband on the mouth.
Oh, that's old people.
Jill Biden's not that old.
She's
not old enough for that.
She's in her 70s. That's like old people over fucking like 55, 60 still. Like, ain't shit.
No. If my partner's husband kisses my wife, we're going to have a lot of fucking words after I'm done talking.
Well, then you're insecure.
No, that's
really
my fucking
Really?
lips,
You
dog.
think fucking... Really? They're yours? They belong to you now?
Possessive. You goddamn right. Ring on the finger. Put it on there. Mine.
This is mine. This is where my babies come from.
Right. This is where babies come from, and this is mine. Okay, OJ.
No, I thought it was gross too. I'm with you.
I think it's gross, but I also I understand what Chris is saying because I'm kind of shocked by how many old people I see like kissing their little like their grandkids or whatever on the mouth, and I'm like, yo, man.
Dude, I had like aunts and uncles who did that shit. Like it's an old people thing, and like as they're dying off, it stopped. Like
it stopped. It stopped right after our generation hit a certain age because they weren't teaching us that we could tell adults who are our family members and have never heard us and aren't strangers that we don't want to be affectionate to them. Now they say that you don't have to be affectionate to anybody you don't want to, and it's like, okay, cool, but Jesus Christ, can we at least like there's a difference between stranger danger and your fucking uncle.
Yeah, what did I hear called? Forced affection. I was like, yeah, I remember. I had one aunt that I was like, oh, here we go. But at the same time, it's like she was happy to see me, and she was fucking like 80. Who gives a fuck?
No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. There's a type of asshole person. It's on the adult to be like, is the child comfortable? And if you can't tell, then don't be. You are not the adult that needs to be hugging people. Period.
No, I get it. But I mean, you got the aunt who sits in the chair, the grandma who sits in the chair, and you come on the lips and shit. But she wasn't kissing everybody on the lips as she was going to her seat. If anything, you got that little side, cheek kiss or whatnot, the French style shit. This motherfucker, she walks up, grabs his hands, and
do we live in a world, Earl, where maybe perhaps Jill Biden initiated this and not him?
I think I'm coming around to Earl's way of thinking because how many pictures have we seen of Bush and Michelle Obama? W loves him some brown sugar. Come on now.
Dude, he's beat off to her.
Oh, probably while we're recording multiple times already tonight. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
I'd like to see W's search history.
I think she kind of, there's deep fakes all over the place with her ass. But no, I swear to God, I think she kind of likes it because she leans into it, man. She plays into it. So maybe it's kind of a funny, flirtatious I mean, guys, is it possible that even if they are fucking horribly intentioned, evil demons, that they can actually show affection towards each other for 2 seconds?
That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, baby.
Is everything fucking... And then the seventh seal broke. I mean, like, come on. Like, sometimes... Yeah, like everything does not need to be all hands on deck. Like I get it. It's creepy, it's goofy. Speaking of creepy and goofy, along the same lines, and this goes in the complete opposite direction, is the pictures of Tom Brady with his fucking 15-year-old boy, and they're in their underwear, and he's got him like his leg. He's sitting in Tom Brady's lap, and Tom Brady's got his arms wrapped around him.
Yeah,
and his legs
that's fucking weird,
like,
man.
Yo. That's just, I'm 15. First of all, my dad in his underwear at 15, fine, as long as he's across the room like any other man. The minute you get within my AO, you getting your eye dotted, bro. Actually, you're my family, I'll warn you.
Right, yeah. You're my dad, you get a warning.
And I'm not even smiling as I'm saying this. Like, I'm dead serious. So like, that shit is like, nah. But I understand. Some people are different. It's strange. And, I mean... I didn't have that relationship with my family, but I know that I have an ex who, into her 20s, would crawl up in her mom's lap like she was a kid, like her mom was on the couch, and I'm like,
I mean, I get it too, Rich. I'm just saying, with those two, Jill and Joe, you got one man that loves to touch and sniff, and the other one, the woman loves to kiss and hug.
Dude, I wouldn't be surprised. Man, there's probably a whole lot of swapping going on. How long everybody got it? Because once you get married in politics, it's like Game of Thrones. That shit's for life. It's like herpes and luggage, man. You ain't getting. That's it. Hope you like the color.
All I'm saying is that the State of the Union was action packed. It wasn't just somebody coming up there. Our State of the Union is strong, and here we go. No, I mean,
State of the Union was a Michael Bay movie that made no sense per usual. And the usual person who would nut over a Michael Bay movie is nutting over the State of the Union.
I'm just saying it was action packed. You have fucking people kissing in the balcony. Trey Nichols' parents was like, did you see his mom look at the Congress and go, thank you, now do something? Mm-hmm. I was like, damn. Called out face to face how you do it. Mitt Romney and DeSantis had an interaction that was not very pleasant at all, and then he raked them over the fucking reporter.
We have audio from State of the Union. Just explosions everywhere.
Yes, it was awesome. As Joe came off the microphone, he's down with the retired Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, and there was a little Asian lady in a blue jacket. You could go look at it. He grabs her and starts to hug her and sniff her and kiss her. She grabbed his hands like, get off me. I was cracking up. During the speech, the Republicans were calling him out, talking about, liar, build the borders. And he acted with them.
That was about the Medicare that he said Republicans, that wants to get rid of Medicare as part of like the whole debt issue or Social Security.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
Sunset the Social Security and Medicare. Dude, it turned from the State of the Union into like Monday Night Raw. It was funny as shit.
And on that one, PolitiFact said there technically is one Republican who called for it, but he called on sunsetting all federal laws in 5 years and then voting for the ones that are worth keeping. It would be Rick Scott from Florida.
Okay. Well, Marjorie Taylor Greene did not appreciate that. She was pissed.
Marjorie Taylor Greene looked like Cruella de Vil and shit with that coat.
It was her pimp jacket.
For real. I ain't lying. She's looking at Joe Biden like, all right, give me the baby powder.
Dude, you guys watched the State of the Union on a level like I have never watched it on.
Well, that's because it was a level that was never brought to you, dude. I'm trying to tell you.
What, on TV?
Nothing like that ever happened.
It's always on TV.
No, not like this, dude. Like I said, when they called out Obama and said, liar, he just stared at him, and the whole chamber was silent. And everybody, and, it was a big thing. You can't chastise the president in the middle of the State of the Union. And then this one just had everything, man, from left to right and centered. It was fucking awesome. I was waiting for somebody to throw a chair. Waffle waitress to pop out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, they had an actual TV producer produce the January 6th hearings. I mean, who knows? Maybe they got him on retainer.
Is this an off national election year Super Bowl? Is this political Super Bowl for every year a national? There's no presidential election. I mean, is that what it's turned into?
It's got to be, right?
I mean, 20 years ago, people like Hunter Thompson, just whatever, laundry list of people. Noam Chomsky, you can keep going. Usual suspects. All were warning about don't let the media start treating politics like it's sports. Don't start having favorites like a sports team and root, because then all accountability goes out the window and it just becomes a dog and pony show.
Mm-hmm.
We're at that point, but I feel like we're past that point. We're post that point, and we're entering or have entered a new point where they're just telling us they're doing it while they do it. And people go, yeah, okay, anyways, liberal tears, suck it up, soy boys, and all this bullshit. And that's, as long as they get that, that's all they care about. So it's very strange. It's very strange. But it's work, because it ain't just Earl. I've seen other people talking about, like, I was fired up. And I'm like, most of the time I see that shit online, I just chalk it up to, you're the same motherfucker that you need instructions on a shampoo bottle, probably. You're fired up about a political speech? Really? Come on, man.
What if you don't repeat, Rich? What if you don't repeat?
I know. What if you don't rinse? I mean, that's like shitting and not wiping. I mean, but I don't know. It just reeks of contrived, scripted, and then post-game analysis, breakdown. Let's go to the telestrator. And I mean, like, I didn't even say that before now. And like, basically Earl was like confirming it by saying like, oh yeah, it was crazy. And what they say and blah, 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 and this and that. And I'm just like, there you go.
Well, yeah, but there was a lot he didn't say too. He didn't mention the balloon. He didn't mention just so much shit, and the Republicans called him right out on it. I mean, there was so much shit that he should have said, that he should have addressed, that nah.
I mean, ultimately, why are we like as a country putting so much stock enough to waste this much energy on a speech that's historically 75% bullshit, and that doesn't even include what he omitted by just not talking about. I mean, like at a certain point, like once we beat the fucking horse to death, I'm just like, why do we keep doing this then? Like, shouldn't we just go, yeah, okay. It's going to be like Parliament or C-SPAN. That's what it should be like. Like, only political nerds watch this shit.
No, because it should be better. It should be better. We deserve better.
Good politics is boring, though. That's what I'm getting. No one's going to watch good. Have you watched C-SPAN? It's like watching paint dry.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. And that's the wheels of our political machine moving. And that's assuming they're moving well enough because the cameras are on.
Yeah.
Right. I'm just saying this particular one, even my roommate was like, oh, don't make me watch this. But from Jump Street, when he first started talking, we were like, oh, shit. I just think it was like one notch away from, other political, debates and speeches where they were throwing chairs and fighting and jumping over the fucking desk. And it was cool. It was different.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net. Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to the system. Everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white. They hate you all. You're inside the system. Violence is a
All right. Well, what else do we have on the docket?
I want to touch. Hold on. Make sure there's nothing else that fits into politics. I think we're moving past that. I want to touch on the new Project Veritas video that came out. That was it was the same person, the Walker, the guy who lost his mind that we talked about last week whenever he was confronted.
The Pfizer employee?
Yes, the director of research and development from Pfizer.
Walker, or
yes.
Tristan Walker.
Tristan Walker. And it was just another clip. And Project Veritas does that whenever they have multiple big points from the same person. They'll release them at different times because they don't want just one point to get banned out by the other one. So this was for the same guy. I don't think it was from the same date, but I'm not really sure. But he is talking about how Pfizer knows and acknowledges that the vaccine is doing something to women's menstruation, but they may never figure it out. And for 2 years, I have watched women be gaslit by that. Like, women I know, women in my circle.
Well, this is no secret to me. I have heard this.
Yeah, like
me as well. My ex-wife is the same way.
I have friends. I have friends who got the vaccine and their periods are all wrong. They're 10 week long periods. And the doctor's like, no, that's something totally different. Could not be related to your vaccine. Absolutely not.
I've heard this from normie women. I've heard this from famous women. Yeah, this is, apparently it messes with your menses.
Yep.
Does anyone still say menses? Besides me?
No, I don't. I've heard it. I've heard a couple other boomers say it, but
boomers.
Oh, blow.
Worth it.
Second youngest member of this podcast.
Hey, Jess, haven't they had a car wreck yet? And the brakes went out or something?
Who? The
interviewer and the interviewee?
Not that I have been able to find, but I don't know that we ever
went to a curve near you.
I do know there was a small protest at Pfizer as well. At a billboard driving up and down in front of the headquarters, giving out email addresses asking employees to, if they have stories to share, they'll be kept anonymous and to just email.
Mm-hmm. They had that. They also had a truck parked outside talking about directed evolution and how it was that any different than gain of function.
Also forgot Pfizer, headquartered in Michigan, Portage, Kalamazoo's sister city. Yep.
Now, like I said, there's not a whole lot really. Like, this is one that has kind of been, it made its rounds for a day, but then look, balloon in the sky like everything else.
Right.
But that just, I don't know. I have a lot of problems with Pfizer, not to shock any of y'all with that statement. But that's one that, like I said, that one just hit a little too close to home. Because I have watched women struggle with this and have doctors tell them they're crazy and that it couldn't possibly be that.
Yeah, and the heart-related issues and all that. Yeah, nothing to see here. Move on.
Dude, my uncle on Sunday, he's fine. They're still doing tests. My uncle on Sunday in church, all of a sudden just having crazy chest pains. So much where they ended up going to the emergency room. Did all the tests you're supposed to, no heart attack, nothing, sent him home. And now they're trying to figure out what the fuck caused it.
Damn, but he's okay right now. Like,
yeah, he's fine.
Hasn't...
Yep. Was joking with me about my surgery today. Like, yeah, didn't have a stroke, didn't have a heart attack. Like, everything looked fine with
aneurysm,
with the echocardiogram.
Did his heart start beating irregular, or was it just chest pains?
It was chest pains.
Okay. I was wondering if maybe it was like AFib or something like that, and he had it it started, beating irregular, and then sometimes that causes chest pains, and apparently it feels just like a heart attack. So they treat it like a heart attack.
But he's had 4 shots, putting that out there.
It sucks. It sucks so much. Just that it all comes out later. It sucks that people were pressured into it and scared into it, and that if there were any questions, that the media just shut it the hell down. There's nothing really to talk about on this podcast today about this, because I'm sure none of y'all watched it. It was a 6-hour long hearing, but the Twitter hearings were happening today. And that's the whole premise of it, was just shutting this information down. And if Twitter has this whole issue with it, then it's not just them. That it's Facebook. That it's, obviously Instagram, but YouTube, it's all of them. And it was shut the hell down so that anyone who went through this shit before just like it became a little bit more acceptable to talk about, went through it completely alone while thinking that it couldn't be the shot. It was something else they did, or just like in their genes or something else. And I'm not saying that it is the shot. I don't know. I do know about the period now, and we're seeing enough heart stuff that I feel confident to say that at least a percentage of it is being caused by it. But that's just me talking,
I have to back you up, Jess. Like I said, my ex-wife has had a regular period her whole life, and all of a sudden she gets this vaccine, and now she's bleeding for an extra 10 days. Her cramps are more intense. Yeah, no, I can't buy it. I don't believe in coincidences.
I'm going to use the parlance of some of our younger listeners, so maybe they'll understand it, because there was a lot of saber rattling the last, about 7 years about this issue. But once more, for the people in back, this is actually a First Amendment issue. The government going to private businesses and going and trying to control this message. This is what the First Amendment is supposed to protect against.
Freedom of press.
No, freedom of speech. You're supposed for just basic First Amendment,
right? To be able to say, and I always.
No, I get it. They didn't. Congressmen, right? For all the semantics assholes out there, Congress shall make no law, right? Get it. They didn't make a law. Maybe we should I don't know, change some of the language and put, comma or influence into there, because that's what they did.
Yep.
You know what? I just passed my first ever kidney stone. If the government made me take a shot that made that worse, I would be fucking livid pissed, because that hurts so bad. So I empathize with the women, man. That's terrible. That is absolutely horrible.
You know what? I think the thing that is most insidious and what's going to end up stinging the most in a lot of cases is if there's ever clear smoking gun evidence that points to they knew there was a very high chance there would be cardiac incidences with this shot and the boosters. Think about the families who pressured the people in their family who didn't want to get the shot, who got the shot, and are now dead.
Think about the parents who took their children to go get this.
Yeah. I mean, to even fucking go for even more of the heartstrings. Exactly.
Like that one, that's the one that I can't reconcile. I cannot imagine if, as this stuff is coming to light, having to look at my kid and be like, well, shit, what did I do?
Okay. And I understand that all the, it's private business, and they can mandate and they can require what they want and blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, that's not exactly how that worked, because in 2021, all of 2 years ago, a guy I know, his sister died of cancer. And after his sister died of cancer, he wanted to take his kids out to see the rest of his family because obviously his sister just died of cancer. And for everyone that was 12 and older to fly, they had to be vaccinated.
Yep.
And they had to be double vaccinated.
Yep.
Meaning
Up to date.
not the 2-shot, that's your vaccination. Vaccination and a booster, because yes, you're right, exactly. They claimed it has to be up to date because it was so long after they had introduced the fucking vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, but
you're going to tell me, okay, it's got to be important because it interrupted the beginning of your sentence, interrupted the middle of mine. So go ahead.
No, go ahead.
How is? I mean, let's just put the bullshit aside. Okay, yes, he could have drove out there, whatever, blah 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 blah. Do I need to come up with a very contrived situation to where you need to fly? No, I don't. We all know and we accept, if we're being honest, that those happen. Okay, it's a mandate. You ain't getting on this. There's no fucking airline you can take that will take you without a fucking vaccination that's up to date. That's a mandate, whether they call it one or not. And this is one example of dozens. How many fucking private jobs? I have friends who work for fucking the big three, who work for other automobile companies, who've been ducking and weaving, dodging this shot like Muhammad Ali for fucking 3 years or 2 years now.
I know people who gave up good jobs because it was get the shot or you're fired. And they were like, no. And find a new job. I don't know if you know what the job market is like right now. I'll be all right.
What I was going to say, Rich, is unfortunately, it would be great to find a smoking gun, but you're never gonna. And not because
there is a smoking gun. The Twitter files.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it obviously is going to come out with the side effects and everything. But as I've stated a couple of times on previous shows, they didn't do enough testing. The drugs have to go through years and years of animal testing, etc. They didn't do any of that. We are the controlled test group. And yeah, I mean, it's going to kill COVID, the disease, but what else is it going to do? Well, apparently it's going to affect your heart rhythm. Women, it's going to affect your period, and so on and so forth.
Before we hang this on 45, I believe it was an Operation Warp Speed that was bipartisan. Like, everyone was like, yes, do this.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, at this point, if you want to fucking argue about which side of the fucking government lied to you, you're an idiot. Because both sides were saying the same thing in lockstep about this.
Yep.
Don't let them rewrite history in your head. God damn, do I really need to say that? Because it feels like I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's the most defeated rounds of yes I think we've ever heard on the show.
Well, because when you talk about history and rewriting it, they've become fucking pros at that one.
Well, you go back to the history of the COVID shot, right? They came out with the shot. They said if you take the shot, you won't get COVID. Then it came back as, well, you might get COVID, but you won't go to the hospital. And then we never said you wouldn't get COVID.
Well, you might go to the hospital, but you'll definitely survive it.
Right. And then we've never said that. All we ever said about this is it's a symptom mitigator. We never said that you wouldn't get COVID.
There's actual footage of Joe Biden saying if you take the vaccine, you can't get COVID. That is word for word what he said.
Not just him. There was people from the world. The Rochelle, I don't know her last name. Yeah. They're Fauci, Deborah Briggs, like all of them saying it, tons of people saying it. And you had this peer pressure campaign. There are 30-minute videos you can watch of political figures and celebrities and anyone else famous that are just on there calling you a piece of shit. My patience is up. Fuck you. Go get your fucking shot. Over and over and over again. Like, this was this is what they were teaching you about in fucking DARE class, about don't succumb to the peer pressure of drugs. Are you kidding me?
Sean Penn thinks people who don't get vaccinated should be jailed. He said that recently, in January.
Tom Hanks and his wife, how that worked out for him.
Who?
Tom Hanks and his wife.
Oh, how did it? I don't know what you're referencing.
Because they got sick. Real
well,
sick.
They were, dude, come on. They got sick they were like the first celebrity. They got sick before vaccine existed. They got sick in February 2020.
It was them. They were the first high profile, and then like The Rock got sick. Because I remember his fucking little "hey guys" type fucking holding the phone up recording. I got COVID and blah 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 blah.
Well, his immune system just fucking
I know. I mean
that shit right out of him.
I mean he's like I'm in the middle of the worst part of COVID, and he looks like he's ready for a fucking take. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like get the fuck out of here.
I would have loved to see Tom Brady get COVID.
Probably,
that fucking immune system and
probably did.
Chuck Norris, the fucking virus.
Yeah, right.
Well, I just want to say that one of the things, I don't know which one of you said it, but whoever said, remember when Biden literally got up on national TV and said, our patience is wearing thin with you people. And you know what the memes were from the fucking people because he was talking to the people who refused to get vaccinated. The memes back was the Chad guy and the memes going up to Biden and getting in his ear and whispering in his ear. Yeah, our patience has been gone for a while too. Yeah. And that's where I feel like it's like, here's the deal. And who the fuck do you think you're talking to, you cocksuckers? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And these are the same people that are going to look you dead in your motherfucking face and tell you it didn't happen and you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see Joe Biden take the vaccine, and then I will be right behind him, and I want the same shot from the same vial.
Well, he allegedly had it. Remember, he had it. He got the vaccine and then he got COVID. Didn't he get it in December or November? Biden's had COVID while he's been president.
Yeah.
Remember, because he got COVID and then he got it again.
No, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. Someone brought up those videos. And I had really forgotten them. And I thought I had. And, like, you think about it, and you're like, yeah, I remember back whenever they were telling us, that anyone unvaccinated was a piece of shit. But then I watched the videos. And they just, it was like a sick feeling watching those videos, Because that actually happened. That was a real thing that happened.
Oh, it's whatever. It is what it is. I'm friends with people all over the political spectrum. And one of my more right-wing friends posted a video, and it's like a compilation of, he's like, this is all from 2 years ago. This is just 2 years ago. And it's just people going nuts about the whole fucking COVID, social distancing, attacking literally one lady running up, grabbing a guy by his hair and pulling him in closer to her, screaming, get away from me, and screaming social distancing while she's pulling him into her. And I'm just like, we forgot the madness, didn't we? Mm-hmm. That quickly, we forgot the madness. Why? Because Tiger King, Carol, whatever the Baskin, hey, look at his speech that riled up fucking Michael Bay fans. Yay! We forgot.
Which, by the way, they found Don Lewis. He's alive. That was like just a blip in the news media.
I don't know who the fuck that is. I never watched Tiger King.
Her husband.
Cool.
The guy was allegedly fed to the tiger.
I'm going to say the same thing that I said when I found out that Kevin DuBrow, the lead singer of Quiet Riot, had died. I hope he makes a full recovery and can play again soon. I don't care. Moving on. So, yeah. Speaking of shit that we shouldn't care about, but somehow we still do, Madonna crawled out of whatever crypt she's been fucking hiding herself in. And this demon who threw on a Madonna suit and claims to be her showed up at the Grammys. I don't even know what the fuck. Okay, Chris, what did you say she looked like?
She looks like the Saw mask. There's a meme out there that she looks like the Saw guy.
With the big old bulbous high cheekbones.
Yeah.
That is absolutely 100% right. We'll get into her intro of, is it Sam Smith?
Yeah.
And that nonsense in a second. But what I find funny is she comes out, she looks like that. And I've seen everybody.
Oh, that's creepy.
All over the political and trolling to being like, they're the ones who type amen and share chain letters. And everything in between, be like, that's sad. Like,
what did you do to your face, bitch? That was my actual reaction.
She came out with and I don't know if they have the what do you call it? The quote from her, direct quote. And we know what she looks like. You don't gotta send it, Earl. We know what she looks like.
No, he's right. She looks like the Saw mask, kind of combination of Wednesday, dude.
No, that Wednesday, like the outfit, that makes more. Jesus Christ, how much bullshit did you guys go through in this chat? God damn. Whatever. I ain't fucking digging back any farther than that. All right, whatever. Fuck it. Anyways, she did the typical, it's 2023, it's all sexism and misogyny. And I'm like, no, the most vocal critics of you online that I've witnessed with my own eyes have been women. But of course, internalized misogyny, but still, whatever. But it's just, I'm like, really? Okay, guys, jokes aside, we'll get to them if you want to, but I dead serious question. If you're incapable of answering it, let someone else answer. Is this not mental illness? How do you look in the mirror and think you look good?
This is having a lot of money and a bunch of people around you who don't tell you no.
Yeah, I'm clinging desperately to do anything and everything that you can to not age.
Well, I mean, you look at that and you can understand how the guy spent $3 million trying to get a, quote, 18-year-old body.
Wait, what guy are you talking about?
There was a guy in the news last week that spent over $3 million trying to look 18 again.
Okay, then set that up and then let us know the story. Okay, so and how does Madonna like?
Because people just changed their look to try to be to try to go back in time, dude. I mean, it's no different than anybody else. It's just Madonna's turn. Dolly Parton, Cher, all of them have
but like
done it.
Cher still looks like Cher. She looks like highly processed Cher, but she looks like Cher. Like Madonna, that does not look like Madonna anymore.
Yeah, but I think it's the hair combination face.
The lip fillers
Are you low-key trying to say you want to fuck her? You'd still fuck her?
No. God, no.
I don't believe you, but okay.
Dude, that pussy is worn way out.
Yeah, but you got your King Dingaling, Mike Larry. So what's the matter?
Because,
go ahead and slip that fucking third leg in there.
Be like, try to get some licking on, and then pussy be like, eat me. No.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
I 2x4 to my ass. No.
So Madonna looks weird.
The lip fillers. What were you gonna say?
The lip fillers and the cheek fillers are what she has overdone it in. And I will tell you, I've noticed a huge uptick of women who think that's cute. It's like the girls who grew up on the Brat dolls.
Yes, it looks like a combination of those. Like someone took a Brat doll and an alien from an '80s abduction story and slammed their faces together, and there you go. Like they look like the big.
And the model for the mouth is Jack Nicholson from Batman. Like all these bitches look like the Joker.
No, apparently once you start getting lip fillers, because they don't last very long. They last like, I think 2 or 3 months, and you have to go back in and get them retouched up. And it is just so common for women to just go a little bit bigger every time until they end up looking like that.
The whole I just think it's very. I'm not a woman. I don't know. I can't imagine what it's like to have all the pressure. You're expected to look good. Blah 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 blah. But I do know this. There's a certain point where you got to accept the reality of a situation. And at some point, whether she's mentally all there or not, according to a court of law, I guarantee she said, I'm okay with dying looking like a monster instead of living and dying looking like an old woman.
Yeah.
And that is pathetically sad, in my opinion.
Well, especially in today's world, Rich, because now everybody, you can't body shame. So wrinkles, fat, all of that. You can't body shame anybody.
Well, okay, then what the fuck is the point of all this? You're allowed to grow gracefully now. This, once again, this just goes back to that double speak, that Orwellian double speak bullshit that people like to pull. It's the same people that say everything's political, because the political is personal and the personal is political. But the minute you fucking point out that there's political subtext in something, why you always got to make everything about politics? Are you fucking kidding? Are you serious right now? And they're dead serious.
I gotta say, I don't want to hear bitching about the pink tax and you spend your money on shit like this.
Well, I mean, and then of course she does what every washed up fucking gamer word hag does when no straight man, even with a truckload of Viagra, would want to fuck him. She goes and finds the youngest, hottest gay guy that will let her fucking orbit him and then attaches her fucking wagon to him. And that's what she did at the Grammys with Sam Smith. And then he decided apparently that we don't remember the 70s and satanic shit.
Rich.
No. And apparently he doesn't remember that, like, we had the 70s and the 80s with satanic shit. And I I get it. If you've never seen that shit's shocking. But like, I've sat through like, black metal sets. I've been to Guar concerts. That's just not shocking to me. It's hackney and it's pandering and it's like, ooh, I'm edgy for the sake of being edgy.
Yeah. What did he do?
Did
he think he was being provocative? What did he do? I didn't watch because it's the Grammys.
Oh, he dressed up in like heels and leather, like a leather weird onesie thing, and he sang that song Unholy, and he had demons dancing around him, and he was performing with someone else who
Ozzy was nominated. If you want to do it right, I mean, let's start there.
Right,
yeah, if this was 20 years ago, he would have done a duet with Ozzy.
Okay, but this was a performance. This wasn't just like it wasn't like a music video he won this award for. He did the performance like this. And has that ever been something that has been okay to do?
Oh, yeah.
Like on...
not on the Grammys, but on the going 30 plus years back, Prince had a simulated orgy with naked people to the song Get Off during live cable television on the Video Music Awards in 1991. The Beastie Boys in 1986 used to take women in thongs and tassels on their nipples and put them in cages and take them on tour with them. And Public Enemy went on tour with them, and it's got immortalized in their song Incident at 33 and a Third. And just in the last 20 years, Kid Rock performed at the Grammys and had chicks in devil horns dancing in cages around him.
Well, I mean, what about Megan the Stallion and What's Her Nuts grinding it out?
Well, we don't even need to go back even that far. We can go back within the last decade, Lil Nas X, and that video where he's giving Satan a lap dance. And I think that was like American Music Awards or something where he did his performance. It wasn't the Grammys. The scandalous part, I guess, is because the Grammys, but honestly, who the fuck cares about the Grammys that this is scandalous to?
Yeah, it was scandalous in the 50s when half the country was religious. Like, the devil. Ooh, you're so... Did you see how Harry Styles was dressed? Like, calm down. You're not David Bowie.
I swear to God, David Bowie is not a gender. Stop, people.
Right.
It's not an identity. Stop.
I just want to go back to when Two Live Crew was having sex on stage. That's why they got banned.
I mean, I to be honest with you, I get it. I understand. People like, my kids might have been watching that. Okay, well, I got news for you. Does your kid got a smartphone?
Yeah. I got some real bad news for you. Your kid knows what ATM is, and it ain't where you get money.
My whole issue with it, I have a lot of issues with it, but my mainstream issue with this is that if this had been centered around any other religion, it would have been completely unacceptable and canceled immediately.
Good
absolutely.
Point.
Absolutely. All the edgelords who are like all the fedora wearing atheists and shit, if this was Islam, if this was Buddhism, if this was, something like that, completely different situation. Absolutely. 100%.
That's my problem with it.
As it should be. As a Christian, as it should be.
Right. Well, like I said, I have my own moral issues with it as a Christian, but I'm not here to preach to you guys. My whole, just to keep it relevant, is why in the fuck is everyone telling us to calm down? Whereas, put one of the demons in a full covering or something. Make it about anything. Put something, Star David on one of them, and watch everyone lose their shit.
Well, the fact that Salman Rushdie, who wrote the Satanic Verses, which was it the high priest, whatever the fuck, of Iran, was it, who put the fatwa out on him, basically hit on site, kill Salman Rushdie on site. And it was 30. We talked about this on the show. Jess, you might have actually been on the show. He got attacked during an interview. A guy stabbed him in the face a bunch of times. And it had to be you, because I know we weren't sitting there trying to explain what the Satanic Verses was to Earl.
He thought that shit was over. He thought he could come out. No. Still. 30 years later.
Over 3 decades later. And here's the thing. As crazy as that was, that's not my point. The point was his supporters the people who supported his attacker were just vocal and all over the place on social media. And I'm going, if this was somebody who stabbed somebody and was like, I did it because they offended Jesus, these would be taken down and reported to the FBI within seconds. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you're absolutely, look, I don't have to agree with what someone believes in to fight for your right to believe in it. And that's what the fuck freedom used to mean in this fucking country. And that's what the fuck it means to people like me. And if you're laughing and giggling and smirking with your bullshit ass right now because I'm saying this shit, you're the fucking problem. Let me tell you something. Motherfuckers who make compromise impossible guarantee violence. Keep fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that you're allowed to be Christian because I like the fact that I'm allowed to tell you that I think you're full of shit. That's America. It should be. It was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's my whole point with the Grammys. That was.
Well, I did see a video of his. He released it was probably within the last couple of weeks, is my guess. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll take the hit. But like, he's simulating drinking piss in the video.
Ew.
Who's this?
So I mean, like, this is Sam Smith, the guy who got sued for that fucking song for ripping off Tom Petty's. Yeah, and Tom Petty was like, I don't give a fuck. I didn't sue him. Person who owns the rights to my song. So
Right.
bring it up with them. I'm Tom Petty. I got my weed and my Oxycontin or fentanyl. I don't give a fuck. But yeah, we know you got it. That's the problem. You couldn't have shoved any of that of John Bon Jovi's way? Really? Couldn't have laid off that night and just been like, here, John, have a party on me. No?
Right.
Okay.
And again, I feel like I say this every time he comes. Who picks up heroin at 50? Like, you ran the marathon.
I know, right?
Like, you're in mile 22.
I mean, it's like, at least be like, you're gonna be in excruciating pain for every second of the rest of your life. Well, it looks like I'm a junkie till I die. I get that. Yeah. But I mean, like, it was kind of that, supposedly, like, you know, I don't know if you remember the whole story, but
like he had a surgery. Like, the
he
classic
ran
story.
out.
He had a surgery and blah blah blah.
And he, you know, went to his entourage like, I need some pain pills, and they went and scored him on the street because musicians.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I mean, I don't mean to be so cavalier about the man dying, but I mean, like, we know how musicians are, you know.
And to be fair, because musicians, he didn't say where from.
Exactly. He probably didn't ask.
Yeah, he said, "Get me some pain pills." And they said, "Okay."
I can't imagine he was like, "Are these FDA approved?"
Yeah. He did not say go to a pharmacy with my prescription and legally. No, he said, "Give me some pain pills."
But I do think it's funny that the two biggest things that we're talking about the Grammys, though, is just like the biggest thing we were talking about the Academy Awards. It has nothing to do with the art that's being put on display there whatsoever. Like, what is the story?
I don't know. The 50 years of hip hop, though, that was pretty good.
Well, we'll get to that.
Okay, well, no. Well, that was the thing. Like Madonna and then Sam Smith, but. Okay, the 50 years. Okay, I didn't realize a 50-year of hip-hop retrospective. Go ahead, give us a breakdown of it, Earl. You seem to be the biggest fan out of it here.
No, it was just threw me back in time, and
I heard it was dope.
Was very. All the old timers came out and just tore it up. Showed these young punks all about hip-hop.
Old being the operative word. I've seen pictures. A lot of gray hair. A lot of extra LBs. But what are you gonna do? It happens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, okay, here's my thing. Okay, 50 years of hip-hop. All right, look, I understand the desire to fucking, like, you know, try to, like, make something older, age it up to give it more credibility. But what next? Are they going to say that Hendrix invented hip-hop because of the song Crosstown Traffic he's rapping?
Right. I mean, if you really want to, there's so many other songs you'd be like, this person's rapping if you want to go by the definition, some shit that came out in the 60s. But the narrative that's going around now is it started in 1973 at a house party in Queens, which, okay, sure. But last time I checked, Rapper's Delight came out in 79, right? Like, wasn't that when we were coming up considered the ground zero, the first rap song?
Curtis Blow, him. But all the old school hip hop, even the fucking shit that is pre Def Jam in a lot of cases, or when Def Jam was being run out of a fucking NYC dorm room. That's like young kids, barely legal. Like LL Cool J was like 16, 17 when he made his first album. He was a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're trying to kick it once again. I'm like, why are you trying to kick it back and say that boomers invented the shit? It's a bunch of young fucking kids who fall into the like, we can't even have our own fucking music.
Right?
You can have grunge. That's derivative of classic rock and punk. You can keep that. Oh, that's mighty Caucasian of you. Thank you, motherfucker. Anything else I'm allowed to have?
By the way,
that's
LL,
what irritates me.
LL still got it.
Yeah, so does Run DMC.
Although, I mean, it's a song he's sang like 9 million times. But
LL never lost
Run
it.
DMC singing Kings of Rock.
LL has stayed on tour and stayed releasing albums and is stayed surprisingly relevant in hip hop circles with fans of a certain age. Run DMC though, not Run, but Daryl McDaniels, he had that voice problem. If you've heard him talking like the last 15 years, his voice is real wavery. And I don't know, I haven't heard him rap since that. So if he sounded good, I hope he wasn't lip syncing.
Do you have that Mike Clark thing? The vocal cord paralysis?
He has the same thing as Bobby Kennedy Jr. has. Where when he talks like this. It sounds like his voice is wavering, like he's almost getting ready to cry.
Yeah, I think that's vocal cord paralysis. Like
is that what that is?
One of your vocal cords ain't working.
I don't know, but Busta Rhymes came out and blew the fucking roof
Oh,
off.
sure, fucking. My one issue with this thing? Can we all, as a culture, stop pretending Queen Latifah was as big a deal? Like, I think we're trying to rewrite history on this. Like, I get it, what she did culturally for hip hop. Hear me out. I get it. She was one of the first females to be prominent. But name me her big track. Name me a Queen Latifah track.
Unity is, who you calling a bitch? UNITNY.
That's the one she sang.
Yeah. That's really about it. I mean, I would say you can make a case for MC Light more than Queen Latifah. You can definitely make a case for Salt and Pepper more than Queen Latifah, but
I know it was one album. Where's Lauryn Hill? Because she was in two. Because Lauryn Hill's in the Fugees too.
Lauryn Hill got booted for racism.
Lauryn Hill is the Kirk Gibson of the hip hop world.
Yeah.
Meaning she's a 2-hit fucking wonder. And I don't mean 2 hits as in songs. I mean 2-hit albums. The album with the Fugees that hit, it wasn't. I think that was like their second or third album, and the rest of them, no one gave.
Softly.
Yeah, the rest of them, no one gave a fuck about. And then her album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And then where the fuck did she go? That bitch been gone for almost 25 years now.
Talk shit about white people.
Yep. I don't want anybody listening. I would rather my kids starve than white people buy my album.
Well,
I mean, that's really? All right. I might have stayed in a dwelling with a computer that had LimeWire on it back in the day, and any songs of hers I liked somehow ended up on the hard drive. So I didn't have to pay for them. I don't know. It's crazy.
With CD.
I remember when I heard that, I was like, lady, you know how many white people bought that album? You're dumb.
Well, the minute she said it, Eminem was like, bought Lauryn Hill's tape just so her kids could starve.
Yeah.
And the Wu-Tang Clan was like, Lauryn who? What?
But that's the thing. Like, I haven't watched it, but you're sitting here, you guys are describing heavy hitters that weren't like looking back, Busta Rhymes is leaps and bounds in rapping ability above 99% of rappers that are popular.
Totally agree with you. You need to watch his performance in that show.
Oh yeah, dude, he fucking
came and blew it up.
Now, don't get me wrong. There's motherfuckers in the underground and they're off the beaten path of the mainstream that he can't hold a candle to. Okay, but I'm talking Busta Rhymes. He was underground at one point when he was with leaders of the New School until they did Scenario, a Tribe Called Quest. But after that, Busta Rhymes was mainstream.
Oh yeah,
especially mid '90s. Everybody knew who Busta Rhymes was.
When he got to Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Could See. Oh yeah, he was. By then he was Busta Bust.
Yeah. I mean, that was just all there was to it. And there's just not that type of talent that's average anymore. Kendrick Lamar is considered the best of his generation, and I don't think he even is close to someone like Busta Rhymes.
My favorite part of that whole performance was exactly what Steve Harvey said in Kings of Comedy. Those motherfuckers came out and just rapped and was just so you could understand them, number one. Number two, it wasn't full of I'm going to shoot you in the chest, I'll wet you. You know, it wasn't no stupid shit like that. It was just nice fucking rhythm. It was good. It was great. You didn't have anybody talking about shooting everybody and fuck the bitches and hoes and nah.
Motherfucker, that is exactly what the fuck they were talking about back in the day. Just because they didn't sing the songs at the Grammys, don't act like the shit was sanitized.
Motherfucker, Ice-T did a verse. What are you talking about?
Okay, there were some songs that these people put out that were off the beat path, true. But all the things that were sent to the radio and everything, all the big hits, nah.
It was nice to see Detective Finn Tutuola back on the mic.
The only thing I've seen him do live,
and Flavor Flav back out on stage.
The only thing I've seen him do live in the last 10 years is Body Count.
Dude, no, he fucking, dude.
Yeah, boy.
He didn't miss shit, dude. It's like,
No, not fucking Flavor Flav. I'm talking about Ice-T.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. Ice didn't miss shit.
No, I know what you're talking about. He was like back in the back, yeah, boy. I'm like, no, dude.
But there was significant, in my opinion, the West Coast wildly underrepresented, because I have a list of the lineup right here. The list of Big Boy, Busta Rhymes, Spliff Star, De La Soul, DJ Drama, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Glorilla, Grandmaster Flash, Grandmaster Melly Mel, Scorpio, Ethiopian King, Ice-T, Lil Baby, Lil Uzi Vert, The Lox, Method Man, Missy Elliott, Nelly, Public Enemy, Queen Latifah, Questlove, Raheem, Rakim, The Roots, Run DMC, Salt and Peppa, DJ Spinderella, Scarface, Swiss Beats, and Too Short. Dude, Dr. Dre was there. Right. He got an award.
Named for Dr. Dre.
I believe Snoop was there. You couldn't get Cube on stage? Where's Marshall?
No. You weren't. Eminem said he's never going back to the Grammys years ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
And he ain't been back since. So I think he's for real.
What, you're telling me MC Ren was busy?
Well, I mean, okay, look, if you really want to get into it, I can get into it, but I don't think anybody else really wants to get this deep. But I can tell you this right now, there is a very strong East Coast bias, especially in old school hip hop circles. And the reason is because there's not a whole lot of respect for the West Coast guys, because they look at the West Coast guys and they go, you got Ice-T, you have Too Short, you have the Ghetto Boys, and they're not even West Coast. They're just on the west side of the country. And that's like, I'm not talking the critics. I'm talking hip hop heads I know personally. That's about it for the West Coast as far as what they give love to the old school. The rest of them, they go, they were always biting everybody else's shit.
All right, then I would say to them, okay, fine. Where's Mr. Beyonce? Where's Sean Carter? Okay, now how about this? Where's the South? You had Outkast.
I mean,
and
Outkast.
And you had half of Outkast.
Outside of Outkast,
we get Luda? Where was Luda?
Yeah,
okay, Ludacris, Outkast, Nappy Roots. I'm trying to think of
Master P.
Is Master P even still doing? I mean, I know he's a businessman in the music industry, but I don't even think he's doing.
He's a sports agent now, actually.
Okay. Well, I know that half of Death Row's, or not Death Row, No Limits lineup was his family. So I mean, like those, like Silk the Shocker and all that shit. Like that was his cousin. The other dude's his brother or whatever the fuck. So I mean, like,
hey guys,
all the money's going to the same bank account.
Just way out there.
Oh, y'all carry on.
Hey, get on our level with hip hop.
Jess is sitting here like, I've heard my dad talk about these old people.
Listen, I love me some Luda.
All right, fine. East Coast, where's the Beastie Boys?
Dead.
One of them is dead.
Okay, what's your well? And I don't think they've performed since. Actually, now that I think about it, even at, like any of the tributes, like I didn't they have like an
even their Hall of Fame? I don't. Maybe.
Yeah.
East Coast. We couldn't get one member of the Wu-Tang Clan. One. There's like 25 of them. We can get one.
Am I seeing an aerial photo of a prison yard? Right. A Wu-Tang concert. and the crowd ain't there yet. That's just the band doing sound check.
You're telling me the RZA wouldn't have done something like this? I'm not saying you, personally.
Look, man, I don't know. And hip hop's so fucked up right now. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, the shit that I hear on the radio, There's no dudes really bringing it. It's the chicks that are fucking really bringing it as far as vocal ability, vocal dexterity, their flow, the fucking...
Yeah, Nicki Minaj just kind of got a stranglehold on that shit right now.
I'll say this. I know the mic's hot. I don't hate Cardi B. It's not
Cardi
bad.
B, yep.
But I mean, all of what I'm saying is these are all relative to their peers at the moment. But I'll say this. I don't know who does it or what song it is, but if I heard it, I'd know it. And I'm like, wow, if I'm a dude and I'm a rapper, if that chick fucking, I don't know who the chick rapper was, but if she started a beef with me, I'd be like, I probably really need to go to the Notebook and really sit down. Because I'm like, damn, that bitch has got like the aggression, the energy, the way she delivers on the beat. And if you're a musician, you understand, like when I say this, her phrasing, her playing with time, being on the beat, behind the beat, ahead of the beat, et cetera, that's all there.
All right, Jess, get ready to laugh at the old guy. This would be a terrible imitation. Did you hear this at any point? Because if you did, that's Megan Thee Stallion. That's like her shtick.
I'm not sure. Can you do that one again?
I don't think I've heard that in this song, but then again, I don't know. I mean, it's like, yeah. I mean, I just think back to the scene from the movie Bamboozled where Mos Def was playing Jada Pinkett's brother, and he's like, and she's like, I am so sick of you and that Black Power bullshit group you're in. And he's like, I bet you listen to that No Limit shit, that masterpiece shit. Just get off on N-words grunting on record, huh? Just motherfuckers sound like arthritic, huh? That's what you like. So, I mean, stupid noises are kind of hip-hop's thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's, I don't know, just based on what you described, that sounds to me like Megan Thee Stallion. Like she also can rap.
I mean, it's a typical hip hop song in today's date. There's like 4 people on the fucking thing, so I don't know whose song it is.
We're gonna rule out Taylor Swift.
Different genre. Did you see Shania Twain's outfit?
I thought she looked hot, but
she does. But I mean, you referenced the Saw mask. Yeah. That's her.
Well, she fuck her face up?
No, she dyed her hair red. She wore like a crazy red dress. But she dyed her hair like Scott Weiland red, not like, Christina Hendricks red.
Good Lord.
She looked, speaking again, Cruella de Vil with the black and white polka dot on the red carpet. It was just like, wow.
Yeah, I have no idea about any of the fashion shit and who was there and who wasn't outside of what you guys have told me and what I've just overheard. Because, I mean, I'm just being honest with you. I have zero interest in watching it. I tried to watch it, like, I think 10 years ago. And I think it was, like, Avenged Sevenfold won a bunch of shit. And they performed. And this was when I was still doing the band thing. Like, it was the very, very tail end of the band thing. And, all the local band people.
Yeah, there you go.
I was friends with. They were like, oh, that was so great. And blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, oh, wow. I'm kind of, getting ready, strapping in, getting ready to be blown away. And I watched the performance, and it's clearly a taped backing vocals. They're not playing their instruments. I'm like, maybe the lead singer singing. What is so great about this? This is a mimed performance. Why is this great? And that's when I just realized we're back to people are impressed by the show and not the musicianship.
It's the 60s. It's the early 60s all over again.
Yeah, I'm surprised we do kind of have variety shows with all these stupid singing shows. They're essentially
karaoke contests.
Neo variety shows. So yeah, it's not my thing. And on top of it, you're giving away awards for art, really, because it's objectively the best. Prove it.
I saw Janine Garofalo do stand up. Ooh. She had the best line about it ever. She's like, I would just like someone to stand up there once and just their speech go, I realize this is for the amount of commerce I've generated and not for my art. Thank you very much.
Well, then you get the weird times when like they do give an award that's artistically has more merit to give to somebody than the popular choice. When it was like, oh, this is going to be a slam dunk. And like when that happens, that turns into let's hate on whoever won that we don't know who it is. Who's this old person? Fuck this motherfucker. Why did it happen with Metallica? The first metal award at the Grammys, Jess, the first heavy metal award at the Grammys went to Jethro Tull over Metallica.
Yeah, a band with a flute.
Okay.
Best heavy metal band. tends to happen.
I mean, but a heavy metal band whose all their hits were written and released and hits before I was born.
Yeah. Their heyday was the early 70s. That was the last time they had anything that was considered a hit.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, when that happens, hilarity ensues. And I'm sure you, Chris, were like me when everyone's going, who the fuck is Jethro Tull? I was like, y'all don't know who Jethro. What the fuck is wrong with everybody?
Yeah.
Motherfucker, do you have ears? Have you not heard Jethro Tull?
I knew who Jethro Tull was, but I also was 11 and perplexed. Like, wait, metal?
Hey, Rich.
Ooh.
And the song of the year, you don't know who won that one, do you?
I don't even know who was nominated for anything.
Well, here, I'll just say it. Bonnie Raitt.
Yeah, some Bonnie Raitt song I never fucking heard. She won Song of the Year.
Just Like That is the name of the song.
You're fucking with me right now.
Nope.
No, sir.
After everything I just said, you're fucking with me, right? Because I feel like there's no way listeners ain't going to believe this isn't a setup.
Nope.
Are you serious?
Jeff,
I swear to God,
help us out.
Bonnie Raitt.
Be the
Just
third
Like
corroborator.
I know how to spell Bonnie Raitt, so she doesn't. Oh, okay. All right. 73. So incoming, who the fuck is Bonnie Raitt? Fuck that old bitch. In 3, 2, 1.
Right.
Who lost that was supposed to win? Let's put it that way, and we'll see if it's going to be fuck that bitch or not.
Taylor Swift.
Good.
Jess, how mean are the Swift fans? The Swifties? Themselves?
I mean, it's like a bunch of little chihuahuas, you know?
Gotcha. All bark, no bite.
Yeah. They show a lot of teeth, but...
All right. Well, I don't think there's... I mean, I think we got to end the Grammys talk there, because we're not topping that. And
she lost
that
to ABBA, Adele, Beyonce. People were pissed about that one. Mary J. Blige.
You mean she beat out?
For Song of the Year.
Yeah, you mean... These are the women. These are the people that lost. Is what you?
Yes. Wait, hold on. I'm reading album. Typed in song. God damn. Nominees for song.
Best part was Ben Affleck was like, "Somebody take me home, please."
Fucking list.
J-Lo sitting there bouncing around having a great time. Ben, I want to go home.
No, I mean the people you described, all of them are, just to be brutally honest, more culturally relevant in pop culture than Bonnie Raitt is at this point. So. That's all that really fucking matters, dude. There's gonna be a backlash for somebody, and if Beyonce's fans, if Beyonce lost to Bonnie Raitt in any fucking way, oh yeah, they're gonna fucking.
Oh no, the big deal is Beyonce lost to a white male for album of the year because Harry Styles won.
I'm just saying, like if she beat Willie Nelson, Willie Nelson's fans aren't gonna fucking like storm the fucking Capitol.
No, they're going to have a smoke and be like, we'll get him next year.
But I'm just saying, like Beyonce fans, yeah, it's not that you're Beyonce fans, it's just your age range. Yeah, you're going to get online and talk shit because that's the closest you bitches ever come to a fist fight in your life.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.
Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, they hate you all. Parents are the system, violence is the
All right, well, anyways, let's enter the speed round.
Yeah.
Okay. We're only doing 2 today for the speed round. I think that's all we're going to have time for. One is, the Joey Swole and that whole fitness call out on TikTok.
Okay, I found it, so I guess it's up to me to explain the video I found. It's this fitness influencer, I guess, is this chick. She's a fitness influencer, and part of that is recording herself doing workouts. And I guess that got boring, and so she started recording like people creeping on her while she's working out. And I saw the video, and I am completely ignorant of gym culture. And if you know what I look like, you understand that. But I'm like, I didn't really see anything creepy. I didn't see anything horrible that he did. And then she started, after the initial burst of support and, yes, queen, slay queen. Why do we have to put up with this? You were almost raped, queen, and all this bullshit. Apparently the internet just was like, it woke up and was like, what fuckery is afoot? No. And just went after her. And enter, what's his name?
Joey Swole.
Joey Swole.
Now you guys can take over, because here's where I have no idea what happened after this.
All right. So when she was recording the guy behind her, staring at her while they were both working out, etc., and saying that he was creepy because he was just sitting there staring at her and blah, blah, blah. He wasn't sitting there staring at her. He was working out. And as Joey says, she was in his peripheral. So he thought maybe she needed some help, because anybody who's trying to, put plates on a bar, sometimes you need help. So he goes over and offers, you need help putting this on? No, I'm fine. Thank you. And then he's like, he's such a creep. Oh my God, I'm so creeped out. And Joey Swole was like, and Joey Swole, just for anybody who doesn't know, has over 20 years experience being a trainer and being in the gym. The man knows gym, okay?
So he's like Billy Blanks or something? Or fucking...
he's better than that. Billy Blanks is a martial artist. He's straight up lifting.
Sounds like he's a weightlifting influencer.
Yeah, pretty much. He's
Jack,
big weightlifting.
Jack LaLanne, but he's getting his pump on. Gotcha.
There you go. And just called her out and said, look, there's plenty of women that have been harassed in the gym. You're not one of them. Somebody looking at you, making sure you're okay, and then offering assistance is not harassing you. That's being polite.
So the reason that fitness influencers, and honestly a lot of people, record themselves in the gym. I have recorded myself in the gym. I'm not posting it anywhere. It's to check your form. If there's not a mirror nearby, or like as what she was doing were hip thrusts, the mirrors don't usually, or in the gym I went to, they didn't go all the way to the floor. And when you want to make sure you're positioning your feet in a certain way, that whenever your legs come up, they're at the right angle. You want to make sure that your back's not doing anything, rounding or anything it shouldn't be doing, whatever. There's a plethora of reasons to record yourself in the gym, and fitness influencers do that. That's a lot of the way that I have learned how to proper form of lifting weights, is because I will watch these videos of people doing it, and then I can record myself to make sure that I look the same as they do whenever they're doing. I mean, of course they give descriptions, but it's common to record yourself in the gym if you're not there with someone who knows what they're doing.
I guess I understand that, but you have to understand, coming from a musician standpoint, the only people I've ever known who did that type of shit were people, they weren't recording it so they could sound better when they played. It was always to look cool and to look cooler. Like, what could I have done if I pulled this face, if I did this pose when at this part instead of what I did? And I'm like, bro, you're trying too hard.
Right.
Okay, you're trying way too hard. Stop. That's what comes to mind for me. So I get what you're saying, but here's my question. Is it as common to have someone, we all know you're going to get looks if you're a decent looking woman. Shit, you can be an ugly bitch and get looks. It doesn't matter. But we all know you're going to get looks. Not normal looks. Is it normal, once, twice, 3 times when you go to a gym session to have some dude just staring at you like some wet brain retard who just got the shit slapped out of him and he's got no sense?
Wait, okay, no, that's not really all that normal in my experience. That's not
because she was acting like it happens every day to her.
Well, okay, but that guy wasn't doing that. The guy was checking in on her. The guy was cutting his eyes back and forth and checking in. He was not staring. That's not what was happening.
Oh, no. We're in lockstep on that. I'm talking about what this bitch said that he was doing.
No. Absolutely not. I am just as guilty of looking at other people working out, especially if I'm in between something and I don't know what I want to do next. I didn't go in with a plan. And I'm not saying that that's typically why men are watching women work out, but whenever you have a woman or a man who are lifting heavy weights and they're not there with a spotter, people, and I would do this too, people would pay attention to those people around them, because if that person gets caught under the barbell, you go help them.
I've done it many, many times. Sure have.
That's just a community sort of thing of being at the gym.
I was going to say it was a couple days after maybe she posted the video or the response and it went viral, whatever. But there was a video of another woman who was doing squats where she had the bar over, the 2 bars over her shoulders, and she had the padding on them. And She went down. She couldn't get up. She was stuck. So there she is recording herself. And you just see for like they put the video, by the way, the video, they put it on like triple speed, and it still took a minute and a half to go through it. And there's just people walking by, not even looking at her like, nah, bitch, that's your problem. Men and women. And I'm like, women, I can't speak for, but the men doing that, for every woman who's pissed, slap the shit out of a bitch who makes fucking false accusations, because that's why that happened.
That is exactly
100%.
That is exactly what I was going to say. I enjoy knowing that, like, if I am in a room, if I'm working out with men in the room, that if I find myself in trouble, that I can rely on them, that someone's going to come help. The second I'm noticed, someone's going to come help. At least that is the culture of the gym that I go to. And that is a great thing. And I would much rather some people come over and offer help when I don't need it than ignore me if I do. Because that takes away the pressure of any time I go to the gym, because I lift heavy weights. That's my preferred way of working out. And I don't have to make sure that I'm going with someone. I don't have to make sure that I have a spotter there with me. It's a community.
And make sure that if you don't need help, you thank them without the sarcasm.
Absolutely.
Because when you do need them, they'll come right back.
Yes.
And people, like you were describing, Rich, the young lady that was in a squat position and couldn't get back up. I mean, whereas it could be seen as funny or, people are scared to talk to her, she could have blew out her quads. And when I mean blow out your quads, I mean you can't use your legs anymore for a minute.
Oh no, she was in a very precarious position where she couldn't stand up, she couldn't go limp and get out from under the bar. She was stuck, and if her knee, I was waiting for like her knee to slip to the side and give out or something.
It wouldn't be so much her knee as it would be her quads, her thigh muscles. It would just, it tears them, it blows them up, and you're not using your legs for a while.
Well, I mean, I've seen gym videos of guys working out without a workout partner or a spotter, and shit goes wrong, and dude doing free weights, and he's got fucking ridiculous amount of plates on there, and it slips, hits his chest, dude ends up with a cracked sternum in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Or worse, it slips and it lands on your throat.
Oh, yeah, and then I've seen a few that they've got them off the guy's throat, but I mean, there was one video, it was years ago, like when I first got high-speed internet, and homeboy was limp when they finally got the bar off him, and he came to because they were slapping him, flipping out. They thought he was dead.
A lot of people, God.
I was just like, okay, once again, not gym culture. Even when I worked out, I just worked out to do what I needed to do. I didn't care about I put up 350 for 5 million fucking reps. I didn't give a fuck what I need to do. But I've seen that shit. And when shit goes wrong with free weights, and we're talking heavy fucking amounts of weight, shit goes wrong. Bones pop out of skin, ligaments rip. It's bad. You don't want to fuck around with that. So these bitches who are out here thinking that they're going to get a couple extra 100 or 1,000 subscriptions with this bullshit are playing with fire. And my concern is, in today's climate, in today's society, something's going to happen. One of these stupid twats are going to fucking fuck themselves up. No one's going to help them. And somehow there's going to be a prosecutor who gets on his bullshit horse and tries to prosecute somebody for it.
Well, see, and I know I'm going to speak for you, Earl, but feel free to correct me. But I think that's why Earl and I felt so passionate about that video in the chat, and why we were both so oh, hell yeah, with Joey Swole stepping in and calling that behavior out. Because that culture needs to remain. That is important to remain. That is a safety issue to remain. And yeah, I won't pretend like there's no such thing as a creep in a gym or an asshole in a gym, but they're also in Walmart. They're also at the mall. They're also at your job. There's creeps and assholes everywhere. You don't just walk around assuming that every person looking at you, checking in on you to make sure you're okay, is doing something wrong. And that was why I took it the same way for Earl, but that's why we both felt so like, hell yes. Because they need to be called out. They need to be shamed out of running their mouth like that.
I think it's in the realm of outcomes for this woman that not everyone wants to fuck you.
Well, I mean, not just that,
in her mind.
Jess, you can also see many, many times that the same men that will sit and offer to help you will also get the creep out of the gym.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Because when we go to work out, we're not there to flirt and have fun and stalk women. You know, obviously there are creeps that'll do that, and maybe a friendship will develop after trying to help somebody work out. But that's outside the gym. When we're in there, it's business. Yes. Because just like everybody has mentioned, you will fuck yourself up on some weight.
Yep.
And it's quick.
The most experience I have was being in the Marine Corps depth. And even though that, you know, we weren't at Paris Island, we weren't signed in, we were still working out, PTing and drilling and all that shit. The recruiter I had was like, when we go to the gym and we put fucking weight, we put time on the weight pile. It's guys on one fucking side, it's women on the other. And I'm like, why? Because, you know, we're running in formation, doing the daily dozens, you know, PT and shit all together in formation. And he's like, I don't want any fuckery. And now I'm starting to understand, but I was like 17 at the time. Exactly. And it's 1994, and I'm not thinking that way. But this was a staff sergeant. This was his a gunnery sergeant by the time I left. You know, this was his career in the military. So he's like, no fuckery on my watch. I ain't taking no L's over this shit. I got a family. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's kind of pathetic, but I understand it, and I wouldn't be shocked. And I'm kind of shocked, except for if the minute the wrong crowd found out about it, all hell would break loose. I guarantee you there's women-only gyms, but I guarantee you there's no men-only gyms, at least that advertise that they're men-only.
Well,
the gym I used to go to back in the day, it was men on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and like women on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Yeah, but there's many places that woke culture is a very, very bad idea, to say the least. The gym is one of those places. You don't want to take woke culture in there. I have a right to do whatever. No, okay? Because when that bar comes down on your body, okay, all that shit goes away. You don't care what color, what race, what fucking height, gender. Somebody get this shit off me, and right fucking now.
What are you doing working out without a partner? There's also that conversation. If you're doing shit like that, you're always supposed to have a partner. You don't need a partner to hit the elliptical, but yeah, if you're going to be bench pressing, you should definitely have a partner.
Jess, how many times have you walked up to a perfect stranger and asked them, hey, could you spot me for a minute?
Oh, a bunch.
Yeah. Yep.
If I am ever pushing my limits, if I ever walk into the gym and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do my normal set, I'm going to do what I know I can handle, and I get in there and I'm feeling strong, hell yeah, I'll load up some extra weight and ask somebody, hey, would you mind spotting me on this?
Yeah, if you're going for your max bench or your max squat or whatnot, you definitely ask one or two people, hey, watch me for a minute.
Never done that.
Yeah, I mean,
I was going for tone.
That is so common, and not one time ever has anyone ever acted like it was an inconvenience. Nope. They have never been anything. For those 30 seconds, for that minute that I'm pushing that weight, they are my cheerleader. I love it. I will tell you, the gym culture at the gym I go to is so strong. I've had one like real asshole experience at the gym, and I was on a machine and I was in the middle of working out, but my back was to the window. It's where the machine was set up. And this guy comes walking towards me kind of fast. I have headphones in, and he points at me to move, like very assertively. And I jumped my ass off this thing, and I booked it. Because I'm thinking a car's about to come through the window. I'm thinking some weight's about to fly at me. I don't know. He told me to move. I moved, and I moved quick. And then he just got on it and started using it. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
I mean, that's like half admirable. I mean, that's assertive. I mean, that guy gets what he wants, apparently. Also giant dick move. Hey, he got the treadmill, didn't he?
Yeah. It was not a treadmill.
I mean, okay, if I want your car and you're at a stoplight and I bust the window out, pistol whip you till your jaw is hanging halfway off your face, pull you out, and peel out on your fucking legs to where you're crippled, you're going to be all right with it. I got my car. I'm a guy that gets what I want, right? I mean, come on, dude. That's ridiculous.
Well, he
Come
didn't
on.
do that to her. Just made her get off the treadmill. He didn't hurt her.
How far do you extend that logic out? Because it's a bullshit line of logic is the point. Like, come on, man. Like, I get the point, but like, dude, maybe if it's a guy on guy, it makes more sense to me. Maybe it's the chick that, like, you know.
Well, it also
can I be honest here?
Do that in a gym though, at
Hold
all,
on.
ever.
I'm just being honest here, okay? Maybe this is a guy size thing. I'm a bigger dude, so some people just like already get nervous when I get within their fucking, like when I start approaching them. So I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never do this shit. First of all, if I'm in public and there's a woman, unless the bitch is built like a linebacker, stay the fuck away from me because I don't want to be accused of anything. Get the fuck back, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to talk to you. No, my name is, I don't want to know that shit. Go the fuck on. No one cares. But like at a gym, like, I'll fuck with a guy, but a dude, there's just too much, or a chick as a guy, there's just too much that could go wrong, be misinterpreted, or worse. Someone overhears something, takes it out of context. Next thing you know, I'm talking to a police officer. So, I mean, it's just like, dude, as careful as we are about everything in our life, you're going to go to the gym and play like that? That's pretty fucking ballsy in today's day and age. Not intelligent.
I mean, again, it's a dick move. I'd like to reemphasize that.
No, that's totally against gym etiquette. Seriously. It's not even being about dick move. There's a way to do it and a way not to. Tap her, let her get her earbud out, go, hey, when you're done with that, let me know. I need to be next, okay? And then go work out on another machine or whatnot until she's done.
Nobody got hurt. She got off the treadmill.
I wasn't on a treadmill. You're accusing me of cardio here. That's not my life. Oh. No, this was one of those machines that you get on, you use, and you get off. Like, it's a minute and a half at max. And I was in the middle.
I had an ex-girlfriend I called all that, but go ahead.
No. But no, like, that was it, and I was literally in the middle of my set, and he motioned me off. But again, gym culture, I think someone's looking out for me. I don't stop and ask why. You tell me move, I'm like, all right, motherfucker, I'm out the way. That's fine.
We don't need a run coordinator. We don't need to answer. When I catch up with you, I'll figure out why we were running.
Yes.
And knowing my luck, I would do it. The chick would be like, "Oh my god, I was almost raped. Oh my god!" You know, start getting that bullshit fantasy going. He almost put his big strong arms around me and like, no, I didn't, bitch. No one did nothing to you. Calm the fuck down. It was a joke. Next thing you know, like I said, I'm #me too.
Oh, that's right. That's the other fact. Was he attractive? Is that where he just moved?
I mean, he was okay. He looked like a gym bro.
It's a Tom Brady sketch on SNL, right?
How not to be accused of sexual harassment. Don't be bad looking.
Yeah.
Well,
hey, did anybody see that, Jess? Did anybody correct it?
No one saw it. And honestly, I was so flabbergasted because I'm a mouthy human. And I was so just like dumbfounded by the audacity of this bitch that I was like, I waited until he got done and hopped back on and finished my shit. But like, nope, nothing.
It's like you were shocked into admiration. You're like, wow, he just did that. And I moved.
It wasn't quite admiration.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, wrong word choice.
I just sat there questioning all my life choices. Like, what else have people told me to do that I didn't need to do?
Right?
It spun me into an existential crisis.
Did I really want to get married?
Yeah.
Am
I that persuasivable? Is that a word?
Are that easily persuaded?
Yeah, there you go.
I'm so goddamn gullible.
Maybe that wasn't them getting ready to throw rice. Maybe that was the sound of a shotgun racking. I don't know.
All right, Rich. Our last one on our speed round, which
not a speed round. It's our last one on our OJ slow chase round.
Yeah, right. We're in the white Bronco doing 50.
Okay, this was a story that I figured was going to last a couple weeks at least, but it's pretty much self-contained and it resolved itself. So it's kind of a nice one to go out on. All right. Full disclosure up front, I know next to nothing about Harry Potter. I've watched one movie. I've never read a book. The only reason I've watched the one movie is I had an ex who was into it. But I do know that Harry Potter fans have been clamoring for a video game that lets you go to Hogwarts, which is the school that is the wizards go to at Harry Potter, from what I gather, and basically role play in the game as if you're a student at Hogwarts. There's a new game coming out, and it's a Harry Potter game, and it does that. And the Twitterati got their, gender neutral tits in a fucking twister because J.K. Rowling is a TERF, trans exclusionary radical feminist, or a feminist. She just goes, yeah, you can be a trans woman and you should have all the rights of any other person, but biological women, our rights and safety trump your desires. And apparently that's horrible to the trans community. So she needs to be canceled. And Harry Potter needs to be canceled. Now,
good luck.
Yeah, I know, right? Unless they sell Harry Potter to Disney, because Disney's damn near killed Star Wars. Maybe they could kill Harry Potter. Who knows?
Yeah, you have to write him out of existence. I hear you.
But it's the purity spiral thing of, if you are friends with this person who once talked to this person, then you are fascist, Nazi, istophobic adjacent. And even though the rights to this game have been sold and it was a payment situation, meaning she's not collecting an extra check off of the rights for this game. She got paid a lump sum, and she was paid a lump sum to specifically go away and let them do what they will with the game. And I'm sure her lawyers had the stipulation of, don't change shit, use the rules that I set up in my literature, in the world, in the game. And typical contract. This is not good enough for the Pink Mafia on Twitter. They have to cancel her. They have to cancel this game. So, of course, their crusade online turns into their opposition gets wind of it. And now people on the political opposite of the woke flakes on the left, so the maggots on the right, are all out there like, we're going to buy Harry Potter, and we're going to buy the deluxe version, the $250 version of this game, even though we don't even know shit about Harry Potter, because fuck them assholes.
The one where I get a wand with the game.
And I think, first of all, consumerism is not activism. You've never convinced anybody to stop doing something by buying something. You've just convinced them to try to sell you more of it.
Yeah, you've convinced them to keep making it. Yeah.
That's it. That's it. Okay, and if you don't understand that concept, turn this podcast off. Go back to school, please. For our sake, don't procreate till you graduate. Okay, Billy Madison? Okay, all right. So not only do you have the idiots on the right doing that bullshit, but then you get the people who are like, well, these far-right extremists are the most dangerous thing, these istophobes, the biggest threat to America because they dox people and they track them and they hunt them online and they find them in real life and they terrorize them.
Really? They've said this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, there is a website, or there was a website. I don't know if it's still up or not. There was a website put up by people specifically to track people who stream the Harry Potter game, all right, and go after them for streaming the Harry Potter game. And it doesn't refer to the Harry Potter game as whatever it is, visit at Hogwarts or whatever. It's see who is streaming that wizard game. How is that not starting a website basically saying, go harass these people, and here's every tool you're going to need to do it? You see, that was put up. News sources in the video game industry reported on it. They just all put this shit just like no big deal. And I'm going, you understand that this is a borderline crime? You're acting like is so just like no big deal you're reporting on? Like, I think in some states it might be a crime to give that type of fucking for that type of shit. Because you can put a little fucking, like, please do not use this to harass. That doesn't mean shit. That does not mean shit. Just because that warning covers whoever made the website, not the intent of the website, not the people who own the website. That covers the actual work that went into the website.
Doesn't this usually lead to suicide because of cyberbullying?
This leads to doxing,
homicide,
swatting.
This
leads to swatting, which is they call on a streamer. And they call in a bomb threat at his address because they track him down. And the SWAT team kicks open the door while he's streaming live. It's happened to Tim Cook multiple times. I mean, it wasn't They didn't kick open the door because apparently Tim Cook's on a compound, but the police had to enter the compound, and he was on air a few times when it happened.
They did that here in Wichita.
Oh, that's been a gamer thing for over a decade, by like easy for over a decade. I think the Boondocks, that episode with the Madden shit, where they were threatening to send him to prison.
Do they at least make these fuckers pay for this stuff now? Like, do they get stuck with the bill
for what?
For their SWAT call?
No, because it's anonymous. It's a 911 call. And especially if it's coming from out of state, they can just cover their tracks. You don't even need star 6-7 it anymore. Use it online. Go through a fucking anonymizer online or whatever the fuck. It doesn't even matter, dude. There's a million ways to hide your identity and call in an anonymous tip. And
the people who did it here in Wichita were from California. They found them and prosecuted them.
I mean, if they find them, they'll prosecute them. But I'm just saying, like, if you get multiple calls and they know how to cover their tracks, good luck. You're going to need it. But anyways, apparently this site is down or has been modified or something. I don't know. I haven't checked the site. But it was up. But I just find it amazing that this is all over J.K. Rowling, who has literally nothing. She wrote not one fucking line of dialogue or synopsis or outline for this game's plot, anything, because she wants to prioritize biological women's health and safety over trans women's comfort, not health and safety, comfort. Well, it's rude. Okay, well, it's not illegal to be rude, especially when other people's safety is at risk. Sorry. I mean, it'd be kind of rude if they told you put your seatbelt on or get the fuck off the plane, wouldn't it? But that's what the fuck they do.
Did you ever notice?
All this is.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You never notice in this age where being trans is just so widely accepted and everyone can be everything now and this and that, and you no longer have to hide and you can be who you are and let your freak flag fly, blah, blah, blah. It's still mainly younger people. Like, there hasn't been this burst of middle-aged and senior citizens coming out as trans.
No.
Oh, I can finally be who I am at 55. I've been a woman the whole time.
Yeah, and according to some polls and studies and shit, the amount of people who now under the age of 34 and under who claim to be trans or non-binary or not their birth assigned gender is 37% to, like, I think 43 is the highest I've heard.
And
I'm like,
you know why bi being gay is a thing? You're born gay? Because there's elderly gay people. And there's been gay people throughout history.
Well, okay. To wrap up what makes this a self-enclosed story, because this is all I told you the backstory, so now you got the story of the run-up, the drama of the hype train bullshit. The game released I think it released Tuesday night at midnight, right? Huge. On Steam, if you're a gamer, you know what Steam is. If you're not, just let's say Steam is a way to where it's an area where gamers buy games and play games and meet up with other gamers through. There was one point.
LimeWire.
It was a one point. It was like apparently right after midnight, right after it went live, to like the next day. The numbers never went under 1.6 million concurrent people playing it at the same, like all at the same time. And that's just on Steam. There's multiple different platforms like Steam. There's the Epic Store and et cetera, et cetera. And these are all at $60 to $70 a pop. So there's a lot of money being generated, right? By no means has all this fucking gnashing of teeth and crying and pissing of trans panties on fucking quote unquote trans panties on fucking Twitter put a dent in this game. Then the streamers start streaming the game live, right? You ready for this, guys? There's a trans character in it.
In the Harry Potter game?
Yes.
Oh my God.
All of this, and there's a trans character in it. So that means the studio that bought the rights to develop, make, and publish this game went so far as to exclude J.K. Rowling, the author, to set it not at the time period she wrote, because it's set in the 1800s, which makes kind of the trans thing a little bit like, really? A lot of fucking gender reassignment surgery in the 1800s, right? That's called drag, bro, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, they made a point to do everything they could, and it wasn't good enough. And why they didn't say anything before, I mean, maybe they did, But if they did, it completely got buried or ignored. But I mean, in the end, I'm just like, what was all this for? The people who wanted,
that's what I say.
The people who wanted this game to fail piqued the interest of people who would probably never give a fuck, and you actually, you through your bullshit fuckery, you motivated people who aren't even gamers, who probably, I've seen videos, I've seen people on YouTube who are YouTubers who are like, I'm not a gamer, I don't have a computer that can run it, I've looked at the minimum specs, I still bought the fucking deluxe edition. And I'm just like, at a certain point, I'm like, are you on the payroll of the fucking company that made this game?
Made millions of dollars because people got into a fight. I love it.
Like, I'm starting to wonder if some of these controversies, like I said, are manufactured now. Like, if they figured it out, like,
That's what I'm saying. Because
it's like a Blair Witch Project type shit.
Yes, because there's a show on HBO. It's based on a video game called The Last of Us. And
I'm watching that. That's a fucked up show.
I mean, the game is a really good game, but honestly, the story is kind of basic. It's just, long story short,
evil type shit.
But it's got a story that actually, and characters you actually give a fuck about. It's not just shoot the zombies, run here, grab this, shoot the zombies, run here, grab this. And so they, it's HBO, so they release their stuff every week. So every week there's a new episode. And they've released 4 episodes so far, and every episode has gone up by at least 1 million viewers every week. And the third episode was in the game. Okay, spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it and you're wanting to watch it. You're going to want to turn off the rest. I'll end the Harry Potter thing for you. The game's a hit. There you go. Okay, if you're still here, you want to hear it. Your boy Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec.
Oh yeah,
Chris, he's in it.
I've heard.
Oh, okay. So you've heard about? Okay, so yeah, and in the game, the character he plays is in the game. His partner, because he was gay in the game, but it wasn't how it was portrayed in the show. In the game, his partner was already dead when Joel and Ellie got there, and they just talked to Bill or Frank or whoever it was, the one who wasn't dead. In the show, Frank. In the show, they show how these two met, and the at the beginning of the
10-year relationship.
Yeah, how they met, how they stayed together. The whole episode is basically an episode that they go, here are the main characters from the end of last episode. We're going to set this episode up. And then the whole episode is about Frank and Bill. And then there's like 5 minutes at the end that moves the episode forward. There's literally maybe 10 minutes that moves the episode forward. And it just turns into a gay love story in the middle of it that on its own is fine. But I'm just like, this is the third episode of you have 8 episodes to make a season. This is a filler episode in season 2 or 3.
I have heard full disclosure, I've watched none of this show, but I've heard it talked about a lot. The other podcast I'm on, I've essentially heard it shot for shot, so I kind of know what's going on. And but too online, I've also heard the one thing bagging on this episode is kind of what you said is like, I guess in the game, like you have a brief interaction with this character, and they bitch that like you said, they wasted an episode on someone who in the game really isn't that big of a part of the game. It's not
that it's that brief of an episode. It's that he's alive, and him being alive, his partner being dead, and it sets up a lot of the rest of the game. And basically all they did was, instead of having an action scene where they all, they go into his, because he's got like a compound set up, they get past his traps and everything, and then they have to fight the zombies, and he comes at the last second and saves them. This is in the game. And then he helps them against they negotiate, and he helps them, and blah, 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 blah. And then they leave, and you never know what happens to them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I've heard, in the game, it's like, hey, you go to him, you talk to him, he helps you, and then that's it. And then, but in this TV show, that all of a sudden, there's this big grandiose.
And I mean, like, it is from like the zombie apocalypse is starting, all the hell's breaking, or excuse me, the fungal apocalypse is starting, all hell's breaking loose, to they both die. One of them has like cancer or something like that, incurable. And the other one's like, they've been together. By the way, it's not 10 years. They might have been together 10 years, but it's been 20 years since that fucking since the shit went down in the show. So if they were together 20 years, that kind of makes them being as old as they were at the end a little bit more sense in my mind, Earl. I don't know about you, but
no, definitely.
Yeah, the one that was dying, the other one was like, I can't. You're my life. It's you and the people that we help from town for 20 years. If you're not here, I don't want to live.
There was, I didn't care about living and being safe until you showed up.
And I mean, like I said, gay shit doesn't shock me. I'm not. It's like talking to an 80-year-old person who's like, you don't want to go to that part of town. There's black people there. I'm not afraid of black people.
See, that was so well written, though, Rich. I didn't care that they were gay. I got into it. I was like, man, that's awesome. Like, he cared about him that much.
No, but I understand what Rich,
because he was dying.
But I'm still where Rich is stepping in because I don't care. Yeah, at this point you can't really shock me. But if advance the story, is that what you're getting at, Rich? Like,
advance the story and make it and make it have something more than just here's gay romance and blah 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 and this and that, and we did it. And see, and they literally, then the showrunners come out and they're like, we did this to piss off a certain segment of the fan base because we knew they would have a hard time dealing with it.
Then the word that just popped in my head is correct. It was, I think, what we're looking for here. It is gratuitous.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, this is the level. By the way, the whole reason of bringing that situation up, talking about the Hogwarts game, the Harry Potter game, is that's the level of pandering you have to do to keep the wolves at bay. And that's just a temporary fix, because we all know that the woke flakes are the Ouroboros. They will love eating their own tail. And the minute that this show does one thing wrong, it's over with. Just like the Harry Potter game it was. I mean, it won't work because this show's a massive hit, but they're going to try.
I don't know. The end, I just don't know why anybody would leave that compound. It was set up so fucking well. I understand that they're trying to get the cure and everything, but bring them to that fucking compound.
You're strolling into the plot. We're not talking about the plot. If I'm this guy's boss, I mean, maybe I'm wired different. I don't know. I'd be saying, why would you want to piss off a section of the people that are the reason why we're making this show?
Gossip, word of mouth.
It's like that new Velma show on HBO Max. That show comes out and is just fucking, it is absolute just fucking character assassination. They flat out say that Fred he doesn't know how to feed himself because he's too stupid, because he's too privileged and white.
I thought that was Shaggy and not Fred.
No, it's Fred. Anyway. It's Fred. They made Shaggy a fucking, what is he, Jamaican? And so, I mean, which I'm like, okay.
If you watch the show, Fred was the brains of the operation.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's the dumb show. He's the dumb white evil guy who's entitled in this, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like,
I gotta watch that.
God, it's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And I mean, like, I honestly think we've kind of hit that like maximum bullshit point. I think I'm starting to see a lot more people speak up. But when I say people speak up, I mean the adults who've been sitting around being way too quiet for way too fucking long. When you got people like Bill Maher saying what Bill Maher is saying, that's good news. It's time. It's time. Either blow this shit up and get these motherfuckers, exile them from your party because they're going to kill your party, or do something with them. Okay? Because
these motherfuckers being who?
Dude, 5 years ago.
These motherfuckers that are like, we need drag fucking shows in kindergarten and preschools. We need to teach our kids about.
What's up with that?
No. We're not going down that road. I'm just bringing that up. I'm just saying that type of shit. Okay.
Yeah.
That's these type of people. They've been dictating the pace and what game we're playing for a decade plus now. It's game over.
Dude.
Children shut up. Adults are talking now.
I feel
no
like
more quarters for you.
5 years ago on the current or the previous incarnation of this show, part of my shtick was bagging on Bill Maher every week, and now I need to get a room with the guy. None of my opinions have changed, and none of his have changed. What has happened?
To be honest, without a deep dive, very quickly touching on the surface, the media in this country, you know, you've been a part of it. Whatever's going to make you click it is what's going to get fucking pushed. And the differences that you guys didn't agree on is what he was either pushing himself or he was getting from the execs above him. These are your fucking talking points this week because it'll piss off the right people. Now, HBO's starting to look around and go, there's a lot of people that are pissed off because their kids and grandkids.
Too many people.
Okay. There's a lot of people pissed off because their kids and their grandkids are coming home fucking talking about, I want to chop shit off, sew shit up, and all this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Like, you're absolutely right. Your opinions didn't change. His opinions didn't change. The focus isn't on what you guys don't agree upon anymore. It's on what you do agree upon. And it's always been that way. So people, stop fucking falling for this shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Do I need to say this?
Should we have another round of defeated yeses?
In and out.
It is, yes. Well.
I mean, that's it. Unless someone's got something else to add. There really ain't much more to add to this story. It's just, ultimately, the irony is so delicious. Like you,
right?
Like you, oh God.
So delicious.
I hope this is one of those times that there isn't a coincidence, because if this is just the fuckery in the universe coming together, boy, it gave us a moment.
I was about to say, I feel like you left us on a really good, lesson to leave it out on.
Yeah. Commerce always wins.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's something we talk about all the time. We're giving this huge megaphone to this very actually, in reality, small minority.
I mean, without going into it, there was an article. It's a bullshit article. I'm just going to say that. There's no point in going into it. But they were trying to say that, we need stringent reevaluation and restructuring of our regulation of this medical marijuana and legal marijuana because out of a nation of 340 million people, 3,000 people have went to the hospital for poisoning from edibles. And I'm like, it's 3,000 people that can't handle their high. No one fucking was ever in danger of dying. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so why are we...
Want to bring up opioids again?
Once again, why are we letting a point... I worked out the numbers. It's 0.00000 and then 3 numbers % of the U.S. Why are we going to take away the rest of everyone else's rights because those people can't handle their high?
One is too many, Rich.
But do you see what I'm saying? This is the mentality now. The mentality is not teach people how to fucking do shit responsibly. The mentality is protect people from them fucking selves. Stop nerfing the world. Because I'm going to tell you what, once you get the fuck out of this goddamn fucking bullshit country, the rest of the world ain't nerfed. And they waiting.
That's true. There's sharp corners everywhere.
So yeah, all right, I'm done. Whatever. Rant over.
Hey, Jess.
And they're sending balloons over to spy on us.
What is a deaf
with
gynecologist
Godzilla
do?
What's a deaf what do?
What's a deaf gynecologist do?
Reads lips.
Yep.
Really? Really?
I don't know if I'm more embarrassed that you told me that or that I knew the answer.
I'm more shocked that you knew the answer.
Of course she did, because that joke's from 5th grade. You can't end a joke like that, or the show like that.
Gotta end the joke. Gotta.
Some weak-tittied middle school joke.
Don't put the titties into that.
I don't have anything. I'm still coming down from my rant. I'm not funny. I'm not in funny rich mode. So unless it's funny rant rich mode, move on. Let's go. Wrap it up. Wrap it up, B. Let's go.
Yep. Go to the social media. Look up Gen Exhausted Pod if you'd like to find us there. You can share the show, like it, all that fun shit. Click the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net if you want to help us with commerce. And wherever you listen to the show, if you can rate us and review us, please do. That's how you find stuff in 2023. I've been reading ratings and reviews for the last fucking 3 months for shit. It's no different with podcasts. So if you could do that, we appreciate the help. Please and thank you. And thank you for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. Later, guys.
See ya.
Peace out, y'all.
Welcome to the world, baby boy. I'll paint you red and white and blue. The indoctrination starts as soon as you come out the womb. Pretty quick, we'll make you stupid with curriculums at school. And if the classroom doesn't do the trick, we'll make you watch the news. Pick your team, right or left. Take the red pill or the blue. You can vote, but even if you win, still everyone will lose. Don't forget to buy designer because Gucci makes you cool. We prioritize material belongings over truth. Get a job that you can't stand so you can buy some cans of food. Go overseas and die for freedom. There's some oil we could use. Our democracy exists so that you think that you can choose. But our algorithms make you do what we want you to do. What's the problem? Your depressed society has you confused. We got medication for you that you'll probably abuse. Go get married to a lady who also don't have a clue, and pump out a few babies that are just the same as you. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, baby girl. I'll paint you pink if that's okay. We'll encourage self-destruction through the music that you play. We divided out of men by trying politics and race, and honestly, it's working awesome, so for you, we'll do the same. Never teaching you to love yourself, inject you full of hate, objectify your sexuality, then blame you for the rape, and weaponize the differences that make our men and women great. Then just to screw with you, erase the genders. Everyone's the same. We'll empower you with rights to vote and fight for equal pay, then have the men turn into women and you'll fight for them again. But you thought you had it figured out, but everything has changed. Welcome to the system, bitch. Please enjoy your stay. Here's a Bible and a bottle of the cheapest booze we make. Find a man who can take care of you to fill the holes we make. Buy a house and settle down, fulfill your duty, procreate, and make a couple babies who will also do the same. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the world, everybody. I'ma paint you black and white. I'ma make you hate each other so that everyone will fight. I'ma give you our religion, let the righteous find the light. But I will also give you science to oppose the word of Christ. And I'ma give you borders, they're imaginary lines. If you cross them, go to war and win when everybody dies. And I'ma give you money that you'll value more than life, and let the 1% have everything while you fight to survive. And then I'll give you politics, I'll call it left and right. And while you divide yourselves, I will conquer both the sides. Can't you see? I'm the system, my whole purpose is divide. What you choose will never matter because everything is mine. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong. Welcome to the system, everyone's a victim. Doesn't matter if you're black or white, it hates you all. Here inside the system, violence is a symptom. Fighting for what's right, but somehow everyone is wrong.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.